We are going live in 3, 2, 1. And welcome back to another episode of No Jumper News. It is Friday, April 15th. I got Mr. 22 himself in the building.
I just want to say before we get into anything, I do not feel great today. I have a sore throat, and I'm probably going to take a nap after this. Yeah. So if I have a little bit less energy than usual, just blame it on my physical state and not anything else. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We got Yuri in the building.
Let's go. Hello.
With a very suggestive sweatshirt.
Everybody loves Coke.
And then Flacco, and that's not a stain. It was just a little bit of water on his shirt.
We all saw him spill the water. Also, I don't support the use of cocaine. It's just that someone gifted me the sweater, and it's very comfy, and I like it.
Water stains on your shirt are kind of a weird thing because it's like it's going away in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, it's just there, and it's just looks like you're lactating.
Watching him spill it was just randomly. Like he tried to drink and just missed his mouth or something.
And I tried to leave, and Josh held me hostage instead and said, no.
That's why I felt like I at least owed the people an explanation that it was just water, and it will dry.
There's two different styles of these bottles, and for a while I had the one without the straw, so I would have to like lift it to drink. And now I have the one with the straw, and I feel like in terms of dripping water, this is way better because when you go like this, it's like if there's any sort of like leakage or like space at all, then it's just gonna pour on you. But now that I drink it from above, it's much better.
Doesn't using straws like help you with like aging lines? Don't women do that?
Really?
Yeah, instead of like sipping out of a cup, they'll sip out of a straw because it makes it like sipping out of a cup makes you form certain lines around your lips.
I feel like my mouth is not really like doing much either way.
Well, when you have a beard, you don't have to worry about aging lines probably.
Yeah.
Just the beard.
But then when you see like a grown man without his beard and you realize how gross they look, it's like, oh, fuck.
I want to see Keemstar without his beard. I feel like that would be interesting.
I want to see Keemstar without a hat. Never got to see that.
I think there's some clips out there of Keemstar without a hat.
I don't think they're real though. I like it's so weird being that guy that's just hiding your hairline for your entire life.
I know.
He's rich though. Why not just go to Turkey?
That's true.
Yeah, but if he's really bald, it ain't. No.
Oh yeah, because they need to take more hair out of other places. But if you have none,
but they take it from the back. But like think about like me or T-Rail or Trevor. It's like we only had like this much space basically that we wanted to fill in. It's like if you're bald like to the back, it's not. I don't think it's working.
Unless you got a good amount of butt hair.
You got to get that Donald Trump like thing. He has like a big synthetic web of hair sitting on top of his head.
Oh my god!
He supposedly has like the most advanced hair transplant of all time,
and it still looks insane.
Yeah,
it just shows how difficult the hair world is, or how lack of the lack of progress we have in that field of science.
Sometimes I think about how if I went broke, every day I would wake up and look at myself in the mirror and be like, why did I spend like 20 grand on hair? on fake hair.
You spent 20 grand?
I think the first one was like 4 grand and the second one was like 13 or something, 14. I don't remember.
How did Trevor and T-Rail get it for free, but you had to pay?
I mean, I guess they wanted to go to Turkey.
Trevor didn't get it for free.
No. Trevor went to New York and got it. He paid for it.
Yeah, he for sure paid.
T-Rail somehow got like a brand deal because he went to Turkey.
Wow.
I'm gonna be real. I feel like I would probably just rather stay here.
Yeah, right. Because the flight, the inconvenience to have to deal with non-speaking English people.
I mean, shit. If you could save like 10 grand, but also it's like you're kind of going to another country. Like I got my shit done in Beverly Hills. Hopped in the Uber, came home, no problem.
Yeah, and also that argument of like you're in another country, you could like act like a tourist, but you're gonna have a swollen, bloody head. Like you probably not want to do anything.
Yeah, like I spent the week after my second hair transplant just sitting in my house watching TV, taking perks and Xans because that's what they gave me. And that was a great week. I had a blast.
Did your doctor tell you like you can't lay or anything? Like you probably can't be.
No, it was cool.
Doing certain shit.
I just remember that I told everybody at the store that I was sick, and that's why I couldn't come in for a week. And everybody was like, "Okay."
Oh wait. So your plan was to hide it?
I did hide it for many years until one day AD just randomly was like, "Just admit it, just admit it," and I just started laughing super hard, and that's when I finally admitted it.
Oh.
But he didn't actually know that I had it. He just had a hunch.
And Houseman and Cam Girl had called you out on it at least a dozen times, and you never cracked on it.
And I lied every time. That's true. But somehow we were just like giggling when AD brought it up that time, so I just had to give in. And now I don't care at all. I'm like, why the fuck did I hide it? No, I hid it because when I first got it, I was like 28.
Oh, okay.
So I felt like a fucking loser. Because like nobody else that I knew had
was bald 28.
this issue. Yeah. So like, but now I'm 39. It's like, oh, who cares?
If you look back, do you feel like you look better now without it? Sorry,
with it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. My hairline would be like here. I would look like a fucking total asshole. I look like George Costanza.
No, you look like an alt-right back then, like with the bald head, right?
The
Like an
shaved
alt
head?
right.
Yeah.
I feel like eventually you just have to accept it. Like you got to pull a Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, right? You just got to be like, fuck it, dude. I got a bald head. I'm
The
rocking.
tattoos and the head. Yeah.
The
No tattoo. Oh yeah, but you already.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that at one point. It's like, oh shit, maybe I won't get all these hair transplants. Maybe I'll just like tattoo my whole head.
Yeah, like
Because I know a bunch of dudes who have like their whole head right to the hairline.
Yeah.
And when you look at them, you wouldn't really think about the fact that they have fake or that they are bald, because it's just you just pay attention to the hair.
But then you're just immediately
Or to the tattoo.
intimidating to a lot of people when you come through with the bald tatted head.
Oh, I learned that. Yeah. When you have tattoos on your head and you're white and you're tall and you have a bald head, people they're very intimidated. They just kind of, you look angry. Once I got a beard and a full head of hair, my girl was like, oh my God, you look so much softer and nicer. And especially somebody like me, I have kind of like a resting bitch face.
Speaking of head tattoos, do you guys remember that viral video of Birdman getting a giant red star tattooed on the top of his head?
What happened to that?
I know, that was like, it was so viral at the time, and now no one,
Still has it, right?
Obviously, I don't think it goes away. But
It's so sick that all these like 40-year-old dudes just got so serious about being gang members at some point during the early 2000s/late 90s.
Yeah.
And
this was like legendary for some reason.
This is not that different than if I decided I was a gang member tomorrow and just got like some crazy ass head tattoos. No offense.
Would you do the giant stars though?
No, I'm just not going to join a gang. But if I did, it wouldn't be that different. I mean, I'm not to say that Birdman wasn't like a real gangster beforehand or whatever, but turning your whole head into a bunch of red stars is pretty lit.
Yeah, somehow imagining just the filling process of all that red color seems extremely painful to me.
Yuck.
Like, no.
Bruh, how does that look like though in 50 years? Or sorry, 50 years, but in like 20 more years.
You can be dead in 50 years. He's old as fuck already.
And he got it like 10 years ago already.
Imagine him though at 70 with that though.
Bro, there was a Lil Wayne Birdman XXL cover in 2002.
Oh, really? Okay.
And they are head to toe with tattoos. But I think it was before he got all the red stars and shit. But like that era, they were going hard with it.
Especially Wayne.
Especially Wayne. All right, what you got for me? Give me something to talk about.
This is what I think is the talking point of the news today. Candace Owens couldn't help but harass Lizzo by throwing in her 2 cents. She went to Twitter to vehemently voice her disapproval, and I feel like this is a good discussion for debate here. But if you peep comments on any of Lizzo's fat acceptance photos, you'll undoubtedly find a score of batshit insane women telling her that she looks beautiful. Men do not lie to other men in this way. They do not pretend that that clinical obesity is beauty. I'm not roasting Flacco for his weight every day, and I'm not gonna tell you you're ugly.
But
you know?
can you click on that one right there so we can see the original tweet that was being responded to? Okay, Gina Bontempo said obesity is on the rise, and yet women are told by celebrities in the media that being obese is normal and healthy. You never see them try this with men. Only women are insecure enough to fall for it. And then scroll up. Only women could be emotionally manipulated into supporting their own eradication via support for trans men. Only women could be fooled into supporting a death cult of fat acceptance. Today's cultural battle proves that women are more irrational and emotional than men. Wow, Candace, every once in a while she's got a decent point. Because
she goes crazy though, right? Calling it a death cult, it could be considered appropriate, but it's a little extreme.
But
too.
that is kind of like the end result of just like telling people who are suffering from a condition that is going to kill them that they're fine and that everything is okay. I mean, it's like you have to find some sort of common ground where you can say, hey, it's okay for you to be fat. You are not less of a person because you're fat. Fuck, well, I'm trying not to look at you as I have this conversation. I'm trying to just kind of look over here. But then also, hey, here are some resources so you can maybe lose some weight. Here are some suggestions so that you can get in better shape. Like you're not when I was 285 pounds, nobody would have been doing me a favor when they fucking if they had told me like you're totally fine. At 205 right now, like I look at being 285 like, what the fuck was I thinking? And thank God I had people like my mom and my girlfriend at the time to make fun of me for being fat so that I would have to start eating rotisserie chickens every day. Huh?
And how long ago were you like 285?
I was like 22.
Oh,
pretty young. Yeah.
And it's like it's true. It's like, dude, gluttony is like one of the
seven deadly sins, right?
It's like one of the 7 deadly sins, and it's like called that for a reason, because guess what? It's bad for you. Just like smoking too much, drinking too much, or being like overindulging in anything is bad. Same thing with food and shit like that. And yes, there's the argument over genetics that some people are like more predisposed to gaining more weight in certain places or quicker than other people. But at the end of the day, it's like you still have control over like what you eat, and then also just pushing this just acceptance over like, hey, I'm fat. You should just be happy being fat. It's like, yeah, you should be happy being yourself, but you should also strive to wanna possibly live as long as possible, live as healthy as possible, go on amusement park rides without being excluded out, shit like that. It's like
without having to cop a whole row on the airplane.
Exactly.
Or 2 seats on the plane.
Have you ever had to do that?
No, not yet.
Oh, Jesus.
Not yet.
I haven't gotten there yet. Listen, like she's right though. Now, I feel like, and what she's saying is a perfect it's like, for example, I think it was Joe Rogan, and who probably said like, and he knows, I think Lizzo's like personal trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she said like whenever she loses weight, there's like a barrage of like mean comments telling her, you feel me? Like, like
you switched up.
Yeah, right.
Adele went through that. Remember,
Yeah,
she lost all that weight, and people got mad at her.
If Lizzo lost 100 pounds, her comment section would be so much nicer on average. Like if she's really like basing what she wants to do with her body on the comment section, if she lost 100 pounds, every guy would be talking about her like, oh man, she actually don't look. I mean, granted, it would be this obnoxious fucking conversation about if she's hot or not, but it would still be a conversation. But I mean, even like, all right, think about it. Women really have this obsession with being nice that doesn't really translate to the average man, and you have all kinds of like weird side effects. Like if it wasn't for men, women's sports would be permanently destroyed already. It takes men to vote against this kind of thing, because you see shit like with Leah Thomas, where her entire fucking swim team didn't say shit about the fact that this was so unfair that this trans person was on their team, but then meanwhile it's like they privately wrote a letter against her, and like people talk all kinds of shit about all these 80-year-old senators and shit, but these are the guys who are passing the fucking bills so that their children don't have to compete against biological males in sports. I fully support shit. Like I know we were just talking about the Chris from Mr. Beast thing the other day, but I support an individual making the choice to transition. I don't support women's sports being absolutely obliterated and destroyed because women are too obsessed with being nice to actually have a fucking backbone in this sort of situation, right?
And it's so funny that you bring that up, because it is true where like I feel like women are like predisposed to trying to be nicer, and they like to virtue signal more than probably a guy does. But if you ask women who their biggest bullies are, it's other women. They're their harshest people to other women. They will attack them, like relentlessly. They don't give a fuck. But then also on a public platform like Instagram, they're a virtue signaler that loves everyone and treats everyone equally. You know what I mean? But behind closed doors, if they have a girl that they don't like, you're a whore, you're a slut, you're fat.
I remember one time you were telling your girl that you wanted her to watch some trans exposing documentary or whatever, and her reaction was just like, no, I don't want to watch it. I don't think that she's like allergic to being educated. I just think that probably she assumed that the tone of this documentary was going to be kind of mean. Right. And if you really like break down almost everything with women, it's like that desire to not be mean, to not be a dick, to not rock the boat is very fucking strong, Whereas like with us, like we kind of like run to the chaos a bit more and are like happy to have conversations about that type of shit, right?
Yeah, or willing to be a little bit more stubborn. But like it's like Candace Owens, like you're saying, yeah, she does have like a point here, but she likes being maybe she has to be this extreme with her fucking views, but like yeah, she's being like super extreme here. But at what point is like acceptance and welcoming other people gone too far, where you're like, bro, like now you just people have like negative life attributes that they're that doesn't help them in any way. You're like, oh, good job, keep going. It's like at what point do you say, hey, I love you, but you gotta slow it down on the hot dogs, or some shit.
What if
like
Lizzo died tomorrow? What if she had a heart attack tomorrow?
Bro,
what would that do to the fat acceptance movement? I feel like it would probably be over right then and there.
Nah.
Because every time anyone said anything about like fat positivity, they'd be like, oh, she gonna die just like Lizzo.
Like, cause like Tess Holiday is like she's like a Twinkie away from like death, right?
But she's not as famous as Lizzo. But you're right. Honestly, if she died tomorrow, or if she died at like 40 or whatever, like early age, they probably would be having that fucking conversation, right?
Yeah, listen, right. So like the question is this though. So like what's the responsibility of strangers? Like, for example, I think Candace Owens, like, she's either just wants to be like the contrarian, or she just cares about like right. It's like she is like she cares too much about it, right? Like for example, like why does she care about like Lizzo's weight?
I feel like it's because of the culture that we live in right now. That's been it's been like boiling up to this point ever since like 2016. I feel like maybe even before, where the culture has created extremists on both ends. You know what I mean? Like, and she's just the product of seeing so much stupid, ridiculous, woke bullshit
of course.
that she's like, someone has to put their foot down and say something. And sometimes I feel like
five back-to-back tweets is kind of like, for example, right? Like I can have an opinion on something, but I don't care enough to, to tweet 5 times back to back and tag her. And
sometimes like
why?
You'll tweet 5 times back to back about anything. I mean, Candace Owens, whatever I was just talking about with that niceness thing, Candace Owens clearly like missed that somehow. That is not encoded into her
of course, like, she'll
DNA.
give a fuck.
But I feel like Josh got the niceys. He's got a case of the niceys. Josh doesn't like being mean to obese people. Josh, what are your thoughts on fat positivity?
Josh though is also obese though. So.
We talked about this last time. Josh defends anything that's progressive, and
I don't defend anything that's progressive, but I
feel compassion for her for sure.
Who?
For Lizzo?
Except to the extent that she's kind of like promoting this lifestyle, right?
And
there's a lot of people equating healthiness to feeling comfortable in your own skin, right? There's definitely a level of, yes, you're going to die if you don't change something.
Yeah.
But this whole beauty thing, it's like, I don't know. That's a whole message that people have always been trying to push. That's not new. The beauty comes within. It's not.
Yeah.
Think about it. I seen Yuri go on a trip, and he was greeted when he got home with like a 6-pack of Dr. Pepper and another 6-pack of Rock Stars and Cadbury eggs and Skittles and every fucking sweet possible.
My favorite snacks.
Yes, it's very sweet that she knows you so well. But not to bring her up twice, but just like the fact that like whatever you have done to your body by consuming this much sugar throughout your life is invisible to us because of your metabolism and the fact that you're not fat. But I wouldn't be surprised if we went to the doctor and they said like, you have some kind of condition that is comparable to morbid obesity in terms of danger. We just can't see it because it's not manifesting itself in such ways. I know some people who have diabetes and shit. You wouldn't look at them and think that they were super sick, but
there's
they are
pre-diabetes
in a bad
and
place.
stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, you have a good point there, but here's the thing where and also like sometimes the chat can see me, drinking a Rockstar, taking shots on stream or whatever it is, and they just think that's my whole life off camera as well, right? And when Riley gets me a whole gift basket of my favorite snacks and chips and all that stuff, I'm assuming, a person in Lizzo's shoes is gonna consume that all in one sitting. I'm gonna that's gonna be my snacks for a week. You know what I mean? Like type shit.
Fair, yeah.
And then also not only that, but I go out of my way to drink, as much water as possible. And then also like the idea of consuming too much sugar is always playing in my head. Every time I drink like a Dr. Pepper or whatever it is, I'm like, yo, that was already 62 grams of sugar. I'm not, rest of the day is probably waters only. Or
some people count calories, Yuri just counts grams of sugar.
I count sugar. And
or
shit like
how
that.
many Rock Stars were you drinking in a day?
Well, at sometimes I like rare occasion I'll drink 2 in a day, which is very incredibly bad for you, and I know that.
That killed Kevin Samuels though.
When I was on 2 Monsters a day back in 2008, 2009, it was bad. Like I was really feeling terrible.
And are you like, super chunky right now? No, because you have some self-control, right? You're like, oh, I should not be drinking 2 Monsters every day for the rest of my life.
But I think that's what
stop
people are kind of scared with Lizzo is that they feel like she's promoting a complete and total lack of self-control.
Exactly.
That is kind of the message sometimes, even though I'm sure that if you were to have like an intellectual conversation with her about it, she wouldn't say that. But the idea
she works out though every day though.
The idea that you should be proud at any weight, proud of your body is it's kind of iffy, bro. Like you should be okay with yourself. But the idea that you should be proud, like I wasn't proud 40 or 50 pounds ago and I was in way better fucking shape than Lizzo, right?
Remember that YouTuber, I forgot her name, but she was like anorexic. She was super, super skinny.
Gina Cooney or something?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are on her ass telling her like, eat a burger, get some weight on you. And it's like, and this is the shit that gets incredibly weird where you're like, bro, these are people's personal boundaries. You can't tell people eat less, eat more because they're working on their own shit. You know what I mean? But the problem is like you're saying, Eugenia, she was doing people were saying the same shit where she would be posting photos and people were saying that she's promoting this crazy look of being ultra skinny. All the other girls are going to want to look like that too and all that stuff. And that's the whole crazy gray area debate where I fall in that gray area as well with the whole Chris Tyson thing. I don't think he should be a part of the Mr. Beast platform anymore. And now that he's doing that publicly. You know what I mean?
Though, shouldn't you be though like proud of a body that it took you work to achieve? Like, right? So like for example, if I like come in like 5 months from now, chiseled up, rock hard abs, like I should feel proud of that, right?
But what's the
Opposed to-
definition of work? Like working out or
Yeah,
like
working
or
out, working out,
plastic
definition,
surgery?
yeah.
And there's also like a pretty big difference between being in good shape and being in okay shape,
Yeah.
and where people are comfortable being. Not
Yeah.
everyone is striving to be the healthiest version of themselves.
Exactly. I don't care to like people always tell me work out. You go to the gym. I don't care to work out and go to the gym. It's like maybe like Adam's saying like I'm taking advantage of my metabolism right now and I'm just happy that I'm not getting fat. But like I don't have the drive in me to go to the gym and shit like that. And I'm so thankful that I'm not overweight because I feel like if I was, it'd be super hard for me to fucking become skinny once again and maintain that. So that's why like we have to have some sympathy for people who are in those shoes because for me, I know that for me it'd be hella hard because of how lazy I am when it comes to working out.
But me and you have very different predicaments where like I could just eat whatever I want and I will just get fat as fuck. And I might settle in at like 350 pounds if I had to guess. Whereas with you can kind of eat whatever and you don't get fat. The fat itself is like this constant nagging reminder of like, you are in bad shape. You do not look good, you know? So it's like, I'm somebody who does not really love working out. Like I appreciate what it does for me and how it makes me feel. But when I'm in the gym at 8 a.m., it's not because I fucking want to. It's because I have a personal trainer that is outside waiting for me. So I just have to. And it's like, I don't know, that shit has always kind of forced me to try to like battle against my weight. I've been yo-yo dieting basically like my whole life. Like sometimes I'll do 6 months or a year where I'm pretty much healthy as fuck the whole time. And then sometimes it just snaps out of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, man. Oh, listen. So and like speaking of Chris, did you see his old tweets?
Yes.
Oh man, he had some good ones, bro. That was crazy.
Bruh, how do you go from that to this within 3 years?
Maybe he was
But also-
he was fighting off the urge to
Okay,
change
yeah.
genders.
Did you
don't
watch
think?
Pyrocynical's video about this where there's a bunch of old tweets
I watched on the V2 video.
and videos as well of like, you know, Chris making jokes like that. And he was saying how Chris is not the first example. There's a lot of other examples of people who have transitioned and years before were like making fun of, you know, gender transitions or whatever it is.
Not
Like
even like that though. Is he's making fun of the very same rhetoric that he's kind of like spewing right now.
I know.
Right?
And that's what Pyro's talking about, where he's like, it's kind of funny this trend where sometimes people will be
brainwashing
talking
them.
shit about it, and then they'll end up
Or they're
doing
just
it.
clearly deflecting and putting off their own insecurities.
But did you guys see Chris's ultimate final response to everything, which is like he got into like a DM debate with some person who was just saying like, you know, they're not fucking with what he was
But
doing.
he threatened to sue him?
No,
I
he
don't
didn't
know.
threaten to
Oh.
sue him, but I think that this person was actually being kind of like transphobic, to be honest, where a lot of the criticism that Chris faces isn't necessarily transphobic, but they just apply it to transphobia. But this particular person, I feel like he was. But Chris basically replied with like a PayPal receipt that says that Mr. Beast just transferred him $1 million. He's like, go fuck yourself. I just got $1 million type shit. And
For
like,
being trans?
no, not for being trans, for being a part of the videos.
Oh.
That was
Nah.
There's no way that's real because nobody is
Yeah.
wiring $1 million over PayPal.
To your employees that you've
Chris-
employed for like 5 or 6
Chris
years or
posted it.
whatever. But why would I like if I thought Flacco did such a great job, why would I just like
PayPal.
send
No,
him
I
$1
think-
million? Like it doesn't seem like how most businesses
I think
operate.
I
right?
think that's his like payment for being a part of the platform for so long.
But
you know what I
It's
mean?
not
Like,
being
PayPal
done
now?
over
and you probably
PayPal
does.
in one.
Then you get
No
paid
one is sending money that way.
Yeah,
dollars
right.
Consistently.
That has to be.
Hold on,
fake.
let me. I'm gonna send it to you right.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring up.
But
I'm gonna send you a
though,
screenshot.
no, wait though, but Josh, but that proves what I told y'all. Now I
What is
wouldn't
it
put it past Mr. Beast to collect the Infinity Stones for listen. It's an algorithm in Infinity Stones, right? And he got it all. He got the kid-friendly content. Now got the trans content. Come on, bruh. $1 million would prove that, though.
Okay, but this is the thing about the Sunny V2 video that I actually thought was pretty interesting is that Sunny V2, people are absolutely fucking attacking him for the way that he was talking about Mr. Beast and Chris and everything. But when you look at Mr. Beast's content over the years, it's kind of like he doesn't really have like a personality of his own. It's more like everything that he does in terms of his videos, and I'm sure that like behind the scenes he is his own man and everything, but in terms of the content that he makes, it seems like it's mostly determined and derived from what will be the most viral and what will get the most views. And now he all of a sudden finds himself in a situation where he's getting a ton of hate, he's getting a ton of shit, and a big percentage of his audience genuinely does not like this trans shit. I wish that it wasn't that way, but we did a poll when we were doing the No Jumper show the other day. I think it maybe got 1,000 votes, and 75% of them said that they did not approve of Chris transitioning. Now, I may be somebody who is in support of him transitioning, but the reality is that if Mr. Beast were to continue to, you know, sort of act as he always has, which is like making his videos get as many views as possible, he would probably boot the now controversial Chris from his team. Now, he's made it clear that he's not planning on doing that, but it's like, this is like, we're finally getting to see Mr. Beast in a situation where he kind of has to go against his own incentives to get as many views as possible. And the question is like, is Chris down for this ride? Is Chris going to still be part of the Mr. Beast team for the next couple of years if Mr. Beast ends up getting a huge amount of hate from his own fan base? I was watching a Mr. Beast video the other day, and I could see the dislikes because I have the Chrome extension or whatever, and it was a lot. It was like maybe 300,000 likes and like, you know, 80,000 dislikes, which for a person as popular as Mr. Beast is a big fucking deal. So I just wonder, like, is that gonna eventually kind of...
Here's the thing with that poll, though, is I support Chris. He's an adult person that can make his own decisions. You know what I mean? I just think that he has a child audience, and pushing the idea of that, and then also teaching kids about HRTs, all that stuff.
This is
like,
show this right here.
Yeah.
Somebody
This
said,
is not PayPal, is it?
I was using PayPal as an
big so
example.
they can
Sorry,
see
that was my mistake for using PayPal as an example.
so
No,
But
this
he
is
was,
like wire
he
transfer.
was showing he got $1 million.
somebody said ratio, and then Chris just said ratio this, then we'll talk, and it's just him getting $1 million. There's no date. Oh wait, no, February 10th, 2023. So that's actually over a month ago, or longer. Actually, it's like almost. It's like 2 months ago. It's over 2 months ago. I don't know what exactly he's implying. Like, you just get $1 million from your boss when you decide to be trans. I would just like to make sure everybody knows that is not how it works here.
I think this is how much he gets paid, bro. He probably for all the content that he does, maybe gets paid yearly, or maybe gets paid monthly or bi-monthly. I don't know what it is, but
it's hell nah.
That could be a bonus. That could be there could be a lot of things. He X'd out a whole lot of the information.
But the
Wire
thing is,
to and wire from, yeah, right. This could be anything.
the point is, he's trying to flex money over like, hey man, you're trying to talk shit that I'm trans, I'm a millionaire and you're not, you know. And Pyro's whole point was like, this is a terrible response. Even though Chris is in the right now, he's being attacked.
That's a terrible response. If somebody tells me like, hey, you're a fuck up or you did something bad, and I say, oh well, actually I have more money than you. You lose. Argument over.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares.
And then bad timing, because people gonna be saying that payment wasn't even for work. Like,
oh yeah, like Adam was saying
that it was from something different. And maybe he did pay him the transition, which sounds very absurd, but I wouldn't oppose that.
Listen, man, like, I just don't understand like why we eat. Again, like, I support you as an adult technically, but like, if he's mentally ill, like, we shouldn't be here saying, you know what, bruh, body dysmorphia. Okay, bro. No, get therapy, seek help, right? Do something about it.
But he was saying how it's so incredibly hard to get hormones as a person who wants to transition in this country, and that he considers it absolutely absurd, that it's so difficult. So I'm assuming that he did have to go through a fair amount of therapy and everything in order to even be able to transition at all. I'm pretty sure they don't just let that happen like all willy-nilly, right?
Exactly. And also Pyro had said that behind the scenes, because he's like a YouTuber as well, he said that it's been known that Chris was talking to other YouTubers that had transitioned about the process for for a while now.
See, man, again, man, maybe it's the African in me, man.
And he's
right?
known for being bisexual as well.
Yeah, of course.
Which
they knew that for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He came out as bisexual in 2020, I think, right? But bro, again, when I see his family, man, is him, his son, his wife, like, they outside in a big house, a big front yard, a big backyard. I said, bro, this is like the fucking American dream, my boy. Like, why would you, like, why? Man?
Everybody has their own dream, right?
Why, man?
And also families, honestly, bro, it's fucked up. And I've seen it in my life. Families get ruined all day, every day over the most dumbest reasons. No, not just this, but like over the drugs, alcoholism, you know, finances, like all types of random shit, bad choices, cheating, you know, like,
It's
and this is just another.
So it's the obesity argument, though, right? If this right here is clearly, right, it's clearly not good for you. It's clearly an illness.
How do we know that?
I'm not
If
okay.
he
This
has
is
body
why
dysmorphia. That's a mental illness. So why would we say this? Yo, listen, work out if you're fat. Get right? Seek help. But yo, listen, like, destroy yourself.
this is where like I'm not gonna enter this debate with you, but because people think like I feel so strongly about this. I feel strongly about the fact that they have a child audience and kids are learning about HRTs at the age of 9 and 10. Like Josh literally said that his kids are big fans of Mr. Beast.
But they're only learning about that shit from social media. It's not like they're talking about it in Mr. Beast videos.
Yeah.
But like,
Dude, for the record, my kids watched the most recent one and didn't say shit about Chris.
No?
But your kids also think it's normal to paint their nails.
They are not painting their nails at this point, but they wouldn't care about it either.
Yeah, but I wouldn't care either. I'll let my kid paint their nails. I
Right.
don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying, like, to them, wearing a fucking hoop neck shirt that looks a little girly or painting your nails, like his kids are
exactly.
It's
his
cool.
kids like grew up like way more open-minded than I grew up.
If
You know?
if you go to his comment section, especially where you can see Chris is wearing those more feminine type clothes, the comments are going a little wild with people pointing it out. You know,
I was clicking on one of the reaction videos the other day and I was looking at the comments in like reverse order, like the newest comments. It's amazing how many of Mr. Beast's fans do not speak English or are not like first language English speakers. And it's amazing how many of those people are really, really pissed off about Chris transitioning.
yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, like all his fans in Russia who like is
In
not really
India?
cool, that type of shit. In India, they're very not cool, that type of it's like
Middle East.
that's
Oh,
yeah.
Lord, yeah. It's illegal there.
Not only are you
Dubai,
battling
those
with
places.
dude, Mr. Beast, like you're saying, he's in a weird position right now where not only is he was on such a high ground for, and he still is there, but now he's really dealing with this stuff where he's dealing with American woke culture and the rest of the world's fucking morals and what they think is okay.
It's just
I've
weird
seen that live
for
stream.
Mr. Beast because he is someone who has tried to avoid controversy at every turn throughout his career. And previous to this, what kind of shit have they had to put on Mr. Beast? Like, oh, he shared a bunch of people's blindness, like the dumbest fucking argument that you could possibly think of. I remember back in the day in like 2017 that Mr. Beast they revealed like some tweets from like 2015 where he had called his friend an FAG, right? So like they were on his ass about that, whereas like who cares? But even then I remember Mr. Beast saying that there were certain brand deals that he was supposed to get that he did not get because he had said the F word
Wow.
on fucking Twitter like many years before or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just wonder like to what extent is Mr. Beast going to ride this out? Because who knows how long this will be controversial for. But the one thing that seems clear is like you can't just take Chris out of the videos now unless he wants to be removed from the videos. And who knows how much feedback he would have to get in order to actually be like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore.
He got to,
If
right?
Chris was a real friend to Mr. Beast,
A real friend.
because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Chris is actually Mr. Beast's first subscriber as well. When Mr. Beast first started this channel,
Are you serious?
Chris
They
was
were
the,
that close even then?
Yeah, he's known him since like childhood apparently, and he was the very first one of his close friends to subscribe to his channel.
wow.
So that makes it even more a little heartfelt and emotional, you know. But I feel like Chris is such a good friend to Mr. Beast. He'd be like, dude, I'm gonna separate myself just to continue seeing you succeed. You know?
Yo, especially after their live stream, right? I think, yo, like you can see the dynamic is not the same no more. Like he's awkward looking, like Mr. Beast is, you know.
Did you watch that whole live stream or you just see it in the Sunny V2 video?
I seen like a 3-minute clip on like Twitter.
What is that channel called? They just sit around in a room and open mail?
Mr. Beast 2.
Mr. Beast 2? I gotta check that out because I never seen that channel.
It's like a
before.
PO box opening, basically.
He has so many channels.
Bro, for real, I know.
And they do
He's breaking-
so good.
No, listen, and he breaks YouTube policies, right? Because YouTube says this: if you put this video on this channel and take that same video and put it on this channel, that's duplicate and that's not right, right?
But when does he do that?
Now, yeah,
The
right. Look,
Spanish videos.
yeah, right. You're right.
Oh, but that's different. They got
It's the same video,
subtitles,
no.
or they got dubbed audio on it.
Yeah, but like it's the same video, but just in different languages.
Yeah, but it's not the same video if you have a completely different audio track over the entire thing.
So if I like copy here, right, again, if I take the exact same video, right, and then speed it up and then put it on like 5 different channels, I'm still getting clapped for it.
It's not sped up though. It's totally different
Yeah.
language.
They probably have specific rules for the multilingual channel because everyone does it.
Yeah, clearly he's allowed to do it, or we would already know. And also, like, if YouTube's terms of service did prohibit this,
Yeah.
I would think that they would then immediately change the rules because Mr. Beast is making YouTube a ton of money by
no.
dubbing his content. He's making himself a way more famous content creator. Like, that's why when I look at his comment section, there's so many people in other languages and shit, is because he's going out of his way to market that shit to these other countries and shit. I know people always tell me that, like, oh, you should dub your videos. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's gonna take a long ass time to dub a random podcast, and why the fuck would some guy in Mexico City want to watch it?
Yeah, right.
You don't
I
know,
don't know,
but yeah,
maybe.
depending on the content, I think like even like Danny Duncan like dubs his videos like in Spanish and releases them in on another platform.
But if you like, it's kind of like a different mentality with them where they make the best possible banger 10, 15-minute video possible. Whereas like with No Jumper, it's always kind of been like, we're either going to interview someone or we're going to have a conversation amongst ourselves. But either way, we're just going to kind of let it happen.
Yeah.
And just put out an unedited version. Whereas when you look at like Danny Duggett or any of this new age of vloggers, oh my God, have you seen the new Gideon series?
Mm-mm.
It's him and this dude Nico, who's
Yeah.
like a huge content creator from
UK.
the UK, and they basically like
Hilarious.
challenged each other to do all these different crazy ass challenges, and like they're just getting arrested left and right, and it really is like standing out to me as like, oh, if I put my whole life for like a month or like, you know, a couple months into making the best YouTube videos possible, it would probably be like these videos here, because they went fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Go to Gideon's channel. I still haven't watched the one with the thumbnail that says white is right, and it's him with a
no,
fucking white
bro.
family.
Seen that shit was crazy, right? Because he had to like come on stage with a stage full of like black folks and then act like Uncle Tom, pretty much, and say the most foul shit. Oh man, nah, bro, that's just amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Now,
It's
listen though,
amazing, you said?
bro, it feels amazing. Now, JD actually got hacked last night, and they posted his dick pic, his ID.
Pull it up
his-
on the screen, Josh. Where's the dick? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
Wait, on his Instagram or YouTube?
it's on my Twitter. So
Please don't show the dick.
if you go to-
well, I mean, actually, yeah, do show it. Just don't put it on the screen.
yeah.
Bro.
Now,
I want to see some cock.
So someone hacked
Gideon-
his phone?
yeah, right. And then they posted it, and on his IG, his SSN, his blah blah. Now JD is claiming the dick pic from his like
His social security number?
yes.
Maybe it was some other dude's dick that he was just like looking at or talking
That-
about.
yeah. Right. Look. Right. So look. So and I never posted his social security number because I wasn't gonna do that. But I did post.
Even Flacco has a limit.
Yeah. But
Oh my God. It looks like, what the hell is that?
God.
Click that.
Click that.
they posted it.
Yo.
Oh, no. Tell me when it's off
He
screen.
commented N-word. That's not even me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hope that's not his dick, because that's a little ass dick.
Oh, no.
From what I could see here.
Oh, God.
They posted it and on his own IG, which is like, what the fuck? Like,
Who
why?
is DeMarcus Cousins? Like, what is the joke?
It's his.
Is it gone?
Is
Mark-
the,
Marcus
Basketball
Cousin-
player.
Is a very famous basketball player that like JD's fans told him that he like looks like. So he has a
Josh, get that off the screen. I'm about to puke.
yeah, right. So like, and he like has an alt account called DeMarcus.
I've
Cousins.
heard him make that joke like a million times, and I've always just been like, who the fuck is DeMarcus Cousins? Okay.
Hey, we did pass a story on your Twitter that I'm not sure if it's a part of our news, but I feel like it's a pretty interesting topic about
I
that.
love it.
That soccer player.
Oh, I love it,
Bro, that's the biggest W ever.
Man. Well,
dude.
no, right. So
What is it?
once I
Explain the
found
story.
out though that like, oh, okay, so pretty much there's this Egyptian soccer player called Hamzi out here. Yeah, him, right? So pretty much, and while he was getting paid, and he has his salary and everything going directly to his mom, and she pretty much just like pays him or like buy him things, right?
Mhm.
So now during the like divorce, his wife is trying to go ahead and claim half, and they're saying, well, no, like his salary and
He gets paid $1,000 a month
Yeah.
from his mom. What are you talking? What salary?
yeah, right,
Doesn't
yeah.
this sound like Alex Jones when he like moved all of his assets out of InfoWars into like some random like bank
Yeah.
accounts so that he wouldn't be able to, so he could declare bankruptcy? I don't know. It sounds like fraud. It sounds like something that would not really work out in the long run. But what country is this taking place in? Because it doesn't-
Egypt or no?
I'm guessing it's
No,
not America.
Spain.
Spain.
Maybe Spain doesn't have as sophisticated divorce laws, but I feel like if I tried to pull off this little
Yeah.
number right here, because we're doing the prenup right now, and I got to declare everything. I got to declare some random crypto in my Coinbase account. I got to declare fucking everything just to get it all out in the open. The question is like, how long was he preparing to get divorced for? Like, was this since day one? And
No.
why don't you just get a prenup in the first place if you really want to make sure she don't take shit, right?
Well, like, thing is this though. So she like said, listen, I want to file, right? Because he got arrested or charged or like implicated for a brutal rape in Spain.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's why she's leaving him.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Never mind. The biggest dub is taken
Hey,
back.
you feel me?
Oh shit.
And now people are
She's
like,
disloyal.
yeah, are saying,
Stand by your man.
Oh,
right?
no. Hey, but honestly, the real fraud at the end of the day would have been a woman getting half of this dude's money when he was working, when he was a soccer player making
know.
millions of dollars. Why are you getting half his money? No.
And she's an actress too. She's rich.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long you guys have been
Why?
together. Why do the women get half the money when he was on the court, fucking putting his blood, sweat,
You
and
weren't
tears
with
in?
me shooting in the gym.
Bro, exactly.
I remember
Be
hearing
my nigga, I hate it, had to be him.
many years ago, I remember hearing 50 Cent say, and this is like, I feel like I kind of learned everything I know about life from 50 Cent, like up to a certain point, because I was just watching his career so closely when I was like 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
And I remember 50 Cent said, the biggest mistake that all of the richest men that he knows in the world have made is getting married.
Yeah, of course.
And here I am getting married. But, you know, it's fucking, you got to do it at some point.
I don't even like I don't think that like it's a gender issue. It's more so like a rich and poor issue, right? Because
Yeah.
why? Right? Because why are you even like mingling with like poor people? If you're rich as fuck, right?
Because they're
Why
hot.
fuck a poor bitch?
Because hot chicks are. Yo, I just remembered I walked in on Jason taking a shit earlier.
Oh no!
Was-
And Jason takes the
was-
gnarliest shit.
I didn't
bro.
smell it, but I didn't really like see that much. I kind of like saw like his thigh in the mirror.
Oh god,
Penis or no?
No, and
Oh,
I
okay.
closed the door before I was able to see anything. But
bro!
it's
Like
just
a
kinda-
month ago, I accidentally walked in on Icon pissing, and he just started laughing. Instead of going like,
turned
"Hey,"
around and peed on you a little
instead
bit.
of going like, "Hey, like someone's in here," he just I opened the door and he's just like, "Ha ha ha!" ha," and just starts fucking breaking out into laughter. I was
But
like, "Bro."
that's like his thing. Is he like kind of laughs at like inopportune times, right?
Yeah.
That's the icon wave. That's
It
the icon
definitely
style. I kind of have to
threw me
shit
off.
right now. I hope Jason's not still in there taking a dump.
Oh,
Nah,
shit.
man.
A dump on top of another.
Nah,
dump.
no though. But now though, after hearing about his situation, would you say that she should take half?
No, I still don't think she should take half, but he should go to jail for sure.
For sure, like
Yeah.
she should pretty much just like go for as much as she can, realistically. Which
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the prenup, is to make it so that like, think about it, like, and let me just tell you, it's kind of like a weird position to be in, because all of a sudden, me and my girl are communicating through lawyers about this one
What?
specific thing, right?
That's so weird.
And
dude.
but it's in order to have a game plan where if the worst possible scenario happens, we know exactly how things are going to go. And it's not just like her leaving me. It's like, if I die, if she dies, then what are we going to do with the businesses? What are we going to do with the cash, etc.? And it's just kind of depressing to be sitting there on the phone with the fucking lawyer, and she's like, so you and Lena both pay half of the expenses at the house, right? I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, what if she decides that she doesn't want to pay it anymore? I'm like, why would she do that? She's like, well, what if she just doesn't feel like it? And she just decides that she doesn't want to work anymore and doesn't want to pay the bills. And I'm like, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine that scenario. I've known her for like 7 years and I've never seen her be that irrational. But the fucking lawyer's job is to prepare you for all of these situations in advance that you've never had to think about, because you feel like you trust the person. But I mean, hey, they got way more experience than me, so I'm trying to keep my head in the game and just actually have these conversations and like figure it out. But granted, like luckily my girl is like the last person on earth who would want to like fuck me over. You know, she's just like a
Yeah.
fundamentally good person, which you probably can't say for a pretty decent percentage of women getting
Better
married.
question though. So
Josh,
is there like
Josh snickering.
no? Listen. So like, is there like a cheating clause though? From your perspective, like for example,
I don't know. I don't think so.
Adam cheats, like she gets all.
They haven't mentioned that. I'm
No?
not sure if they're
Okay.
the ones who would discuss that, but I do know that like basically when you're doing the prenuptial arrangement, that if you structure it in a way that seems cruel and absurd to the judge,
Yeah.
like let's say that if I were to say like, hey, if we divorce, you get nothing, I get whatever, and like, you know, the judge is not going to let that fly.
Yeah.
Like the woman getting some percentage of your earnings for X amount of years after you leave or whatever,
Yeah.
like that is like, they're not going to let you get away with that.
That's so weird. And this is the problem
At
with
that point, don't get
involving.
married then.
But you're
Yeah,
like
exactly.
occupying the
State
woman
law,
during her
too.
birthing years, during her prime reproductive years, so it kind of makes sense.
She's
to me.
occupying you.
Yeah, but I could have a baby at 80.
That's true.
I'm
I
not saying I'm
guess.
gonna, but I
That's
could.
so weird. But like, this is the problem with involving government in like a love, you know, like the love between two people. It's
But,
supposed to be a
dude,
love and
what is-
trust, and then you're bringing fucking some a government worker in a suit that says like, hey. You know
gotta pay
that
it
that
off.
wife of yours that you want to love and marry. What if she fucking does this?
What if she stops paying the bills?
Yeah, exactly. What if she does
Because
this? You're like,
marriage
bro.
is a legal contract.
And that's the issue with marriage, and that's why, like, you know,
Yeah.
I've had this
It should not
discussion
be.
with Riley a bunch where, you know, it's not her favorite subject, where I'm just like, dude, marriage and like love is about the love and trust between two people, right? Marriage at this point is literally you're only inviting the government. That's it. There's nothing beneficial in marriage other than like the girl gets to
there's
take half your shit. That's it.
Definitely benefits to filing as a married couple.
It's
versus
not-
single people.
Really?
Mm,
Don't
yeah.
you get a better?
Healthcare too.
Okay.
Healthcare? Let's say something horrible happens to you and you're in the hospital, and you want her to be able to get in there to take care of you or whatever. They're
you
not going
don't
to treat
have
her
a
the same.
will,
She's just your
right.
girlfriend, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Even if you have her written down as like your emergency contact?
There's probably like other better reasons for people to get married. But okay, this is the thing about it. If we weren't getting married, we would still need a prenuptial agreement, because if you've lived together for more than like 5 years or whatever it is, then she's entitled to some extremely large percentage of your future earnings or some shit.
Wow.
So if you actually, honestly, like, this is something you should keep in mind. If you guys are going to live together for like many more years without getting married, you might need an arrangement at some point, because legally she would be able to say, and there's other things too, bro. There's things like, when her fucking lawyer said, like, do you feel like you deserve to own a percentage of No Jumper because you were in a lot of his thumbnails?
Oh man,
She's like, no, absolutely not. But
she hired a
a
shark.
more, yeah, we both have such good lawyers. That's the fucked up part.
Oh, she hired a shark.
But like a more sinister woman would be
Yeah.
able to make that claim
yeah.
of like, he built his entire channel off putting my booty in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
I need all the money.
Dude, I seen this crazy example of some dude who had like this whole company was like worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he was divorcing with his wife, and his wife, she was not a worker at this company, wasn't a CEO, never lifted a pen in this office ever, probably never even entered the office at all. And then in the divorce, she got like 50% of the company, because she said that when he was coming home from a stressed day at work, she was like his comfort, and then basically with her emotional help of like, being with him as a wife, she helped him run the company by being like, a shoulder to cry on and like a person to be with. And basically she was saying that with her emotional contribution, she basically is entitled to 50% of the company, and she got it. And I was like, that's crazy. It kind of
that
makes
point,
sense,
bro,
but it's crazy.
Hire a fucking hitman.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
no.
Hey, but imagine this. Imagine I am in a relationship with a woman, and I'm this fucking crazy businessman, and I'm going out and I'm making $1 billion a year, and she stays home and she takes care of the kids, and she takes her potential earnings that she could be making by having her own career, and she decides, no, I'm going to stay home and I'm going to take care of this rich fucker's kids. And then like down the road, I decide that I want to leave her. Do you really don't think she deserves like some kind of compensation for the fact that she spent all those years like helping you to raise a family? I mean, and that's kind of part of the problem when they look at like how much money men and women make, is that like you could have that kind of family, and on paper it's going to say that the guy earns $1 billion a year and the girl earns nothing, when in reality they're part of like the same operation. That like she might not be earning money on paper, but she's essentially performing like a very high value task for him. That
Give
being
her a
said,
salary then, right?
I'm gonna go take a shit. I'll be right back. My butthole's puckering up. Okay.
That's a good point though, because honestly, Riley, huge shout out to Riley. She helps me a lot with the channel and like other stuff with
Your life.
my life and other channels I'm a part of and shit like that. She helps a lot, and I get paid for everything, but the money I get paid helps us buy food, pay for rent, all that stuff. And like he's saying, it's like technically she's earning zero income, but she's still producing tons of work.
Look, Russell,
That's vital for the business.
Now listen, so like here's the easy solution. Now, not Riley, right? But just in general. Bro, listen, like for example, if a chef will cost you, let's say, $1,000 every 2 weeks, right? A living prostitute would probably cost you about $1,000 every 2 weeks or so, right? Or every month, right?
Mhm.
A living nanny will probably cost you about $500 per week, right? Calculate that up, and bitch, this is what you deserve, right? Right. So again, if we get it for let's say like 10 years, those are your duties. We say, okay, this is what you earn per month over 12 years. Here, this is yours, right?
Oh my god.
But saying, yo, I deserve half of your fucking assets for work that I could have hired people to do.
But
Fuck out of here.
Flocko, not everyone makes the same amount of money, which is why it's based off a percentage, not a flat rate.
Yeah.
But again, though, right? If I could have just hired a chef,
You
a
can't.
nanny, a prostitute,
Who's gonna give birth to your
That's so,
kids?
bro.
Who's giving birth to your kids, and who are you paying to do that?
I think Flocko is
Carrying
like,
the kid for 9 months.
are,
but does she pay for my seed though? Like Like to have the gender?
Bro, I feel like you're incapable of like love or like you're
No.
sociopathic. The way you're breaking down a girlfriend's or wife role right now is so fucked up. You're basically saying that you could replace a wife.
You're not
with
looking at any of the
a
emotional
prostitute,
support.
a fucking
a
nanny.
nanny?
A
And
companion.
a chef.
What companionship is
Exactly.
provided through this?
You're gonna be lonely and depressed.
What?
Even with a chef,
So
nanny,
if
all
this
that,
is the case,
all
you
those
should,
things.
a therapist bill should probably be included
No,
too.
Yeah, probably.
wait.
But
Wait,
therapists
though,
aren't
right?
gonna hug you.
Wait though, right?
But
But
that's the prostitute, though. And he has. that
I'm not
covered.
paying her for compassion though, because again, that's just what comes with relationship right now. She's saying that she contributed by cooking, sucking my dick, and taking care of my kids.
And
So
being there
hence-
emotionally to support you and help you get through your stress and what you're dealing with at work.
So, wait, pause. So she deserves a portion of my income because the bitch was a good person?
Yes,
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Because the bitch listened to me when I was...
that's literally compassion. That's the
Like, come
definition
on,
of
man.
compassion,
Bro, every time you talk about relationships and stuff like that, like you seem so cold hearted that I'm like, there's no way you have a girlfriend, dude.
No.
I don't believe it.
No. Oh.
He either doesn't believe what he's saying,
No.
or
What?
your girlfriend is just inevitably either going to leave you or doesn't give a fuck what your opinion is.
Yeah, or she's just like, dude, it's content. Or she probably doesn't even watch at all. Like that's probably the only situation I could think of.
Or how about like she's really based and understand like everything? that
Honestly,
I'm-
you're
that
you're
I'm-
bringing up a good point because the way you are and your views are, your girlfriend will probably have similar views, and I'm just assuming that Flacco's girl is just based as fuck.
Based as fuck is crazy, but though like she definitely like aligns like more like with the like work for your shit.
Mm.
You know, I don't need no man to take care of me. Right? Like she,
Yeah.
she's strong, she's independent, and bro, right? But again, though, we have to quantify the work that she done. Right? Meaning, again, if I told you I stay home, take care of the kids, cook, clean, and suck my dick, right? I have to now like quantify what that's worth. Now the compassion, the like listening like to me talk when I come from work.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
But that's
of here,
the cold-hearted part Adam was talking about with the lawyers, where they have these weird-ass conversations with you.
Now though, now again, now like you just sat here though and said, yo, Riley has contributed immensely to everything that I've done. So like, God forbid, and y'all break
all the
up,
evidence is out there.
and she's taking you for everything you got, nigga. Right?
I'm gonna be
It's
like,
not
I'm
everything.
gonna say I was
It's
off
out
the,
there.
I was off a joint and I didn't know what I was saying.
Yeah.
But depending on the state, yeah. Depending on what
California
state,
though, like you fucked.
you get a percentage and it's for X amount of years. It's not in perpetuity.
Yeah,
And what? It's been what now, like 4 years?
3 years
Oh man. Listen.
in perpetuity.
Listen, man. Yo, no, right? Listen. So like, I feel like y'all, right? Like, and have a gamble, right? Because like, it's kind of like, yo, if Riley like becomes like, like a big YouTuber first,
Mhm.
then you is in a great spot, right? Or if you get famous first, she's in a great spot, right? Right. So pretty much, I feel like, especially like now though, like she probably like would deserve a portion of your income, right?
Well, for a while, like when I was working at No Jumper full time as like an editor and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I had like other income coming in, and whenever we did get paid from YouTube, I always gave Riley like half the money for a while, and then once it turned into me basically fully relying off
Yeah.
streaming and YouTube or whatever it is, then it was just like it
Exactly though.
it became just 100% mine. But it's really nothing in a relationship though. There's really not like 100% mine, because at the end of the day, if Riley wants to buy some sort of an object that's $400, right?
Yeah.
She's not gonna go like, do I have $400? It's gonna be like, do we have $400? And if I want to buy a $400 object, I'm not going like, do I have 400? Even if I had $400 of my own, right? I know that like we're gonna need to get groceries, get the pets food, and like buy all the some other bills or whatever. It's like I know that I could probably spend that $400 myself,
How
but
did that conversation go though?
I feel like
in terms of giving her half and then 1 month, hey baby, this is mine, man.
it was
And how did that go?
we didn't have to have the conversation. It was kind of like a
Nah?
unsaid obvious thing. You know what I mean?
Listen, man, cold nigga.
Oh my
Cold nigga, but he
God,
came home and said, listen, this shit is mine this month,
No.
and you're getting shit.
Bro,
Don't
okay.
ask. Cold nigga, bro. Listen though, man. Listen.
I'm not dapping you up because I'm not being a
Yo!
cold
And
dude.
if
Yo,
it
he's more
sounds,
great than me though.
no, because if it sounds like if they didn't say anything, that means Riley just never asked.
Exactly. It's like she just
Oh.
knows. Like it's like she just
You
knows.
know if you thought about it though.
No,
like,
but no,
oh,
no,
I
she
paid
did-
this cheap nigga and gave
No,
me
she
$6
probably
month.
no, and also like she knows how much I get paid. I know how much she gets paid, and she knows that like, oh, Yuri's getting paid X amount. We just had to pay, X amount for the bills. He probably has like this much left over that we're gonna have to use for this. It's like we know we can calculate our bills together. You know what I mean? Like you don't have a joint bank account, but it's like we work as a unison. It's like we don't have like separate savings or something like that. We save
Have you
together.
ever been like really broke and down bad like while with Riley?
There's been I haven't like been really broken down. Well, actually, when I first got with her, I was really financially struggling. But there's been like a couple of months where like I didn't make as much money or whatever. Then Riley had to like pay more money for the rent, or like pay for this bill that I couldn't take care of, and then and then it equals out. Like there's been hella times where Riley's came through to help shit that I couldn't take care of, and then been moments where I do things that she wasn't able to do. It's just like, and that's the thing of a relationship
At that point though,
where
bro,
you guys work together.
bro. At that point though, bro, like if you ever get rich, you cook, my nigga. You is cooked. What?
Why?
If she have receipts for it, when his broke ass ain't have shit to pay, I paid it all.
Well, honestly,
Oh, man.
Well, no, honestly,
You cook.
Riley and I are in a completely different position than what we were talking about. Where if you look at my channel, when I first got with Riley, I was averaging like 20, 30 viewers, and I'm not saying that like all it was like Riley was a part of all the streams, but it was a combination of like all the stream ideas. We were able
build it too.
we were able to do the 10 talks helped us grow immensely that we do together. So it's just like the growth of my channel has had a lot to do with Riley helping out, being on camera, and doing ideas together. It's way funnier if like if if I do things with my there's so many funny content ideas to do with your girlfriend if you have a girlfriend.
Now, like, do she own a percentage of a 10 talk?
Well, there's no LLC or anything to own a percentage, but I don't make any decisions that have to do with 10 talks without her, like.
Nah, like here. So let's just say this, like 10 talk and gets like, oh look, Bobby Lee and Kalila, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they broke up now, but they still have a very successful podcast. Like even though they broke up,
They still do it?
they still have to show up and do Tiger Belly.
Ah.
So in that particular case, though, I think Bobby owns a large percentage of it. She probably owns like a minority stake.
I see.
With you and Riley with like 10 Talk, if let's say it becomes really big and y'all break up, y'all still have to do the podcast.
Yeah. But for example,
Who owns what?
well, like I said, we don't have an
There's
LLC.
no way that's happening.
What?
It doesn't matter how big their podcast is. If they break up, they will not pod together.
Yeah.
Why though?
Cause Bobby Lee's like an open relationship. His whole thing is way different.
No, right? So look, while they were together, it was not an open relationship. Like towards the very end, like probably like the last month or so. All right. And she claims that Bobby gave her permission to fuck somebody else. Bobby denied that. Right?
That's sketchy.
Right? So, yeah, she's the most hated woman right now on the internet. But they still have to do it because, bro, like, it's a big business. It's profitable. It makes millions. So,
And that's the difficult part where it's just like, I don't know, dude. I feel like even if we were making $50,000 an episode, it'd be really weird. Especially, imagine
imagine she starts dating somebody.
That's what I'm
else.
saying. Imagine
you could not do that,
bro. Imagine 4 or 5 months pass by, and then we're like seeing other people, and still, bro. That's so. And then also, if I got with a girl, right? If I got with Riley, and then she had this popular podcast that makes her millions of dollars with her ex-boyfriend, and she has to tell me that every Wednesday she goes to do this podcast with her ex at 4 p.m. I'd be like, no. I'd be like, I'm not gonna be in this.
No.
I'm just not gonna be in the relationship.
You would say no if your girl was making millions off a podcast with her ex and they had to do it. Nigga,
I probably
crazy.
wouldn't get with
I
her.
was just gonna say that.
Yeah,
I don't think Yuri gets with that girl.
yeah, I probably would. You have to be like you have to have like aligning views to be in a relationship. So I would probably already see that and be like, yeah, I wouldn't, be in a relationship with that person.
Our fans are probably like watching this like, man, like, yo, like Tan Talk isn't trademarked yet. Yeah. Oh man, do I have an LLC yet? Oh man, I'm a trademark this shit right now.
You son of a...
You gotta listen. Poetic
It
Flacco
couldn't be
got an
trademarked
LLC.
because
We
it's
trademark. You can't do
already
shit. Yeah.
used by another podcast way before them.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Damn.
But also, whatchamacallit, I was gonna say I just recently had to make an LLC for something else I was a part of, and it literally tells you like who's a part of this LLC and what are the percentage of ownage rates, right? And like, and you could literally write like Flacco gets 70, Yuri gets 30. Like you can like put the percentages of who owns how much, and it even asks you if you want to make a business decision, who can make that decision, or does everyone have to make that decision together and stuff. It asks you all these particular questions like that.
So okay, so the Blasey
Because
took
that's super important when it
about
comes
80%,
to
right?
taxes.
No, I just
It's super important when it comes to taxes and selling the company or getting rid of somebody.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Nah, but hey, nah.
What do we have next on the
Oh, you see how Rose just yo, Jury said, nigga, bro, we get it off the biggest bro topic, man. You feel me, man? Nah, but but that's true though.
Yo, shout out to Emily Chop. I'm so glad that he went on OG Suicide's podcast because I heard that was gonna happen, and I'm glad that
Who set it up? Josh?
Laura and OG set it up.
Oh, dope.
Shout out to Laura and OG. I thought that was really cool. But okay, so Emily Chop apparently says he might be the reason why Ice Spice changed her phone number.
This is crazy. Like, this is nuts.
Was it? You already saw this clip, Flacco?
Yeah.
Was it being like a stalker or some shit?
Nah. Well,
Probably. You never know, but
okay.
she thought it was business. You tried to holler or something. No, I was business oriented. Okay. And when I hollered, she didn't have no about it. It was like,
you did holler though.
Yeah, I mean, slickly, like not slickly, like slickly, like.
So he tried to holler at her, and she thought it was. And honestly, dude, this is like one thing that a lot of girls in the industry always talk about, where it's so hard for a girl rapper to come up, where they're like, they'll be popular, they want to collab with NLE Choppa, and they'll send him DMs saying like, "Hey, you want to work?" And he's just like, "Yeah, come through to the stew." And the dude always thinks like the female rapper's trying to fuck, and she's like, "Bro, I'm trying to work on some business shit," you know. And she probably blocked them because she's like, "Bro, like you don't respect me as a businesswoman.
Good,
I'm good."
And literally picked one of the only chats he's not in.
Oh, word? Oh,
You're
well,
so retarded.
Yeah, well, shit. Wait, like, and why isn't Mikey a part of that group chat? Like, that should be like him, right? But I think this is like a big issue, bro. Right? And like, folks would probably just gloss over this, like, you know what? No, like, this is a real big issue
For Ice Spice?
No, for hip hop in general, right? Because I think we heard of this same thing with Lotto, where these male artists will come under the guise of "I want to work, trying to fuck," right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, Ice Spice is a new, young, hot chick, right?
Yeah.
The fact that he would approach her under your "let's work," guys, just to fuck her, admit to doing that, and nobody had shit to say to him. Like, we are a culture of fucking predators.
It's weird, right? And it's also, it's like, I know I'm not sure if they're under the same label or not, but I think of when you're in the music industry as like both rappers, you're kind of almost, could be considered coworkers. And it's like, bro, imagine going to your coworker going like, "Hey, you want to work on this project together?"
Yeah.
But to work on this project with me, and I get paid more than you do, and I'm cool with the boss than you are, you got to sleep with me. It's like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, and they, like you're saying, it happens all the time.
Well, hey, right. To be fair though, he didn't
lay it out like that.
Went that far, but
that's why porn is great. Is because when I'm like, "Oh, I'd like to work with you," it literally just means I'd like to have sex with you on camera. So it's like there's very little confusion,
Yeah, right. But and he really like came online and
admitted to it.
Yeah,
but also like he didn't admit to anything crazy. All he said is he threw he tried to hit on her, which is he's a guy, whatever, he's a single guy, he's welcome to do that. But
asking for her number to like make a song and then start asking, "Hey, you want to go out, grab some vegan food?"
In that context,
that's predatory.
Changed her number.
No, but to ask her on a date afterwards, that's not predatory. What's predatory is to like get her in the studio under the pretense of like, "Oh, we're gonna work on music together," and then you try to fuck her. That's weird. Like, I remember the first time when I first started doing No Jumper that a girl hit me up who was hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And she was like hollering at me in the DMs, and for a second I'm like, this girl wants to fuck me. What the fuck? This is a girl I never ended up interviewing, but I was like blown away. And then I realized like, oh, she wants to interview. And in my head, I'm like, oh, so like because she hit you up to get an interview, you cannot holler at her. Now, maybe if you meet her and you have a little bit of a vibe and you might want to ask her to hang out or whatever, that could be cool. But you can't like blur that line of like she's tapping in with me because she respected my interviews.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it like some weird ass shit where then I'm like using our time together to try to get pussy. That's like that. That to me is like crossing a big ass line.
Yeah, and also I want to repeat that Annalise Chapa, I don't think that he particularly did anything wrong here because all he said that he just tried to holler at her. All I'm saying is that in the music industry, this is a recurring thing that I've heard a lot. I think Ashanti came out with a story saying that her producer like asked her like, "Oh, you want more beats? Like you got to fuck me" type shit, or send shower videos or something like that. And
you got a lighter? I just remember I gave Dub mine.
Yeah. And this is the thing that just happens a lot.
But wait, though, right? Women. So if a chick is using, let's say, her like sexuality to try to like coerce me into interviewing her,
it's not gonna happen. But okay,
right?
Yeah.
And I fuck her, and I'm in it wrong.
Wait. You're saying she's using her sexuality to try to get an interview?
Yeah. Yeah, by saying
if she's a willing participant in this, like let's just say super extreme example of a girl DM'd you and said, "Hey, I really, really want to do something on your channel. I was thinking that I would love to suck your dick, and then afterwards I'll go on your channel." Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with you saying, "All right, bet, let's do that."
Oh, okay.
I think what's weird is if she says, "Hey, I want to do an interview," and you say, "Well, if you say, yeah, I'll give you an interview if you fuck me." That's weird, but at least you're being upfront about that. That's a little bit better than you saying, "Okay, yeah, I'll do an interview with you," and then she comes to the studio, and then you fucking lock the door and turn off the lights, and you're like, "Let's get freaky first," because that like is misled. But if you guys both agree, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know,
I agree. Right?
Ice Spice has a new number. Drake has no way to reach her. All things.
Pause.
I'm sure Drake could think of a lot of ways to reach her.
I'm fucking around.
You think that Drake don't have her?
I know he does. I was making a joke that she has to change her number. I know that she probably has like business numbers and shit too.
Yeah, but shout out to Drake though, man.
All right, so apparently Lil Durk revealed that he's looking to secure an A-list feature from SZA for his new album, The Voice 2.0. Durkio publicly pleaded with the fans to get SZA's attention on social media.
Yo, like this is like below Durk. Like
I never heard her.
What? No, she's big. Like she sold 300,000 first week.
She's like
I heard that she's made like $5 million a night on tour and shit like that. Yeah, I just have never heard her. I have no fucking clue what she sounds like.
Through Riley, I've heard a bunch of her songs, and I just know she's like one of the biggest female artists out there. And
it's crazy, right? Like, cause like for example, like she became big, like surprisingly, because she dropped like an album like a few years ago. It did good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she really like took a break like from music, and then she came back like this year and dropped an album.
I think it was like COVID era. She got hella popping, right?
And she sold 300,000 first week, and we're all like, where the fuck did SZA come from?
All the girls were at home bumping SZA. You know what I mean? For like 2 years straight. Hey, but yo, Falk, let me ask you this, and also Adam, what do you guys think? Like, as for celebrity level, like Durk and SZA? Well, you don't know too much about SZA, but like
I never heard her.
Like,
so
is Durk reaching up or going down? Like,
come on, Durk is the god.
He's going down.
I don't know anything about R&B and shit, so I'm just gonna assume Durk is the king. Oh, you're asking like who's more famous?
Yeah, more famous.
I say Durk, but I don't know.
Right?
Nah.
Now listen.
You think she's bigger, really?
The fact that he's reaching through Instagram, it seems like he can't, like, you can't have your manager contact her.
He's probably just doing this, having some fun, right?
Yeah,
like, I mean, like, I'm sure if he wanted to, he could reach out to all kinds of people that would have her number, right?
Yeah.
Now listen, like she's bigger like than Durk, but like in terms of culture, like relevancy, it's definitely Durk, right? Meaning, like, for example, like.
True.
Durk means more to us in the culture than SZA, right? But like Durk selling like 170 and her selling like 300 plus, but
fans were saying it was a little weird timing because I don't know if y'all seen Nicki Minaj. She posted like "Why Be Better," and then Durk posted this, so everyone's like, "Wow, they both." Little Durk.
She really wrote "Why Be Better"?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why is she trying to get
SZA though, Nicki not beefing, right? Nah.
But didn't you
know of? But it was just weird timing for her.
What happened to that? I forgot who posted. I think Jumper posted. I'm not sure if it's real or not. The Nicki Minaj clip of her talking about Young Boy.
On Amp, where she was basically she was on Amp.
Yeah.
And while on Amp, she forgot that the mic was live,
right?
And she accidentally. Well, she didn't accidentally. She was just talking to somebody in the room, and she was mad.
She forgot? Nah, hell no.
I don't know if she forgot.
Hell
you think it was staged?
They did on purpose. Of course, they did on purpose, right?
But the people who don't know in the audience, she was on Amp and she was talking about how
She
got
seemed
Young
genuinely
Boy-
surprised.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
NBA young
look at
boy
her
better.
spelling out his full name.
I
Like
know.
the fans write like YB better or Young Boy better. You know, NBA Young. She should have wrote Young Boy never broke again.
She didn't want there to
Happy
be
Young Boy better?
any confusion.
She's been embracing though, like a bunch of like the newer, like for example, like Ice Spice. Like,
She gave Ice Spice the cosign. You think
Yeah.
that you
He
think
put
Ice
up
Spice
the-
was like fielding offers from Cardi B and Nicki Minaj to be best friends?
maybe.
It's got to be a
'Cause
tough
Mac
choice
did it, right?
Because you can only do one.
Yeah, no, yes, right, because Megan Thee Stallion like try to play both sides, and Nicki cut her off like immediately.
She fucked one and then switched on over and
feel me?
fucked the ops right away.
Yeah, right. Now though, bro, like the snippet that I just seen of Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj and rolling around in the bed like with the thong on and the short pink. Oh my god, bro.
Yo, I don't think we've posted it yet, but we
Yeah.
should totally talk about. Do you see Bud Light put out a statement about
Oh yeah.
them being canceled or whatever?
What did they say?
Basically, like apologizing for and like saying that they don't want to be involved in the culture war and politics and stuff like that.
Thank God.
They seem like they really did not know. But I mean, to me, it was like a 1-2 punch. You can't put pronouns on the can and give Dylan Mulvaney a fucking brand deal at the same time without all of your fans coming to the same conclusion, which is that you are trying to like 100% saddle yourself onto this woke shit, you know?
yeah.
The female CEO though, a Bud Light is crazy.
Man, I don't want to read it like this. They fucking put out a statement. Can you scroll down?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
They put out one big statement that you are not showing me right now. Like it's just like a one-word image. If you go to Twitter and search Bud Light, you're gonna find it in 2 seconds.
No, but again, I feel like the first mistake though is making a woman the CEO of Bud Light. So let's be real here. But come on, man. Listen, but that is frat boy culture.
Yeah, you're right.
The fucking woman, come on.
It
now.
definitely doesn't make sense. But I feel like honestly, the number one mistake is the mistake that every company makes, which is
Yeah,
like
right there.
once it's Gay Pride Month, they just throw the gay flag up for the month and then take it down just to show that they like are trying to be virtue signalers or a part of the culture or being progressive. It's like,
Like that.
dude, if you're a beer company, why are you talking about this shit? You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you're an electronics company, you have no reason to talk about this. It's just like,
All right, let me
stay in your own
read
lanes.
this. Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of Bud Light, put out this statement saying, as the CEO of a company founded in America's heartland more than 165 years ago, I am responsible for ensuring every consumer feels proud of the beer we brew. We are honored to be part of the fabric of this country. Can you put it big so that they could actually read it? I feel like when it's something that they could be reading along with, it needs to be big. Anheuser-Busch employs more than 18,000 people, and our independent distributors employ an additional 47,000 valued colleagues. We have thousands of partners, millions of fans, and a proud history of supporting our communities, military, first responders, sports fans, and hardworking Americans everywhere. We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. Click. My time serving this country, and this is from Brendan Whitworth. So this apparently is from the male CEO, if I'm guessing correctly.
Yeah.
My time serving this country taught me the importance of accountability and the values upon which Americans were founded: freedom, hard work, and respect for one another. As CEO of Anheuser-Busch, I am focused on building and protecting our remarkable history and heritage. I care deeply about this country, this company, our brands, and our partners. I spend much of my time traveling across America, listening and learning from our customers, distributors, and others. Moving forward, I will continue to work tirelessly to bring great beers to consumers across our nation. Let's be honest, your beer sucks dick, and none of us would be talking about you if it was not for this. He has said almost nothing in
Yeah, of
this
course.
statement. You have to really read between the lines to get to the meat of what he's actually trying to say.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, we regret getting ourselves into this conversation, right?
Mhm.
Now, the thing about it is that obviously that translates to, we regret endorsing trans people and we regret putting pronouns on the can, etc. Because, I mean, let's be real. If you're Bud Light, why would you do this?
Exactly.
It's not your fucking market. It's not your audience. And I agree, sometimes it's okay to do things that go outside of what your audience wants. If you're Mr. Beast and your closest friend decides that he's trans, I mean, you're kind of just along for the ride, right? But like you're Bud Light. We know that this giant faceless company does not give two fucks about trans people, but you're out here using them in your marketing. It just seems like the dumbest fucking idea ever. And it seems like the CEOs and shit didn't really like have much of a clue that this was going to happen.
Well,
and it was kind of like cooked up by some of the marketing team. I mean, listen, like I would even suggest that perhaps the average Bud Light consumer is not particularly transphobic. I just don't think they want political messaging shoved down their throat when they're just trying to have a beer.
And it is a divisive conversation. Like he said in that statement, he said, I don't want to be a part of divisive conversations. And it's like it or not, it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I also agree. It's like, why do we need to push this trans thing down everyone's throats in every possible single way? It's elementary schools and middle schools and high schools, on media and movies. Now let's put on a beer can. It's like, at what point are you like, bro, we get it. Okay, we're cool.
Yeah.
Everyone's equal. All right, let's.
Right. So according to the CEO, and that chick, and she stated that like that Bud Light was an age-old brand. It was antiquated, and she was attempting to appeal to a younger generation, which I don't see how like the trans thing will appeal to, But
it's because some of these people are just living in a bubble where they have no fucking clue what their actual audience feels, And it's like, people just don't want to have this shit shoved down their throat. I think that really, like, if I were to like kind of identify how the average conservative person feels about this, I think that they're more angry about the fact that they're having, like this trans stuff shoved down their throat when they're just trying to buy beer. I don't think that the average, like, when Kid Rock is shooting the Bud Light or whatever, I don't think Kid Rock is like shooting trans people on a daily basis, or like perhaps like not even obsessing or like reading about that kind of shit all the time. I think that these people just don't want this bullshit, which literally regards like, less than 1% of people. Why does it have to be on a Bud Light can? I mean, I'm pro-trans, pro-people doing whatever the fuck they want with their life, but I mean, this shit is just ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
They're acting like they don't know their audience. It's just,
And
you're a profit-seeking corporation. Your only job is to make money for your stockholders. That's why you should not have done this.
Here, right? And then two is this. Now, listen, I did feel a tad bit uncomfortable though, right? When I, kind of like, and heard him dog whistle. I was a part of the military. I'm American, right? Dog whistling to that good old boys network and saying, my military American values align with y'all, as if LGBTQIA or trans don't align with American values. Now, that's where I was kind of uncomfortable when I heard that statement.
Well, but what he's really, like, he can only speak in the affirmative. He can't disown the trans people or the gay community or anything like that. He can only say, we support the military, we support the police, we support whatever, because that, people will read that as meaning like we are an all-American brand, etc., which like, fair enough, I believe you that you are. But like, it's pretty funny how they have to say everything except what they actually want to say. Because an honest version of the statement would have been, listen, Dylan Mulvaney thing, kind of crazy. You're right. We probably didn't have to do that. My bad. This dude's a weirdo.
And
dude or woman is a weirdo, whatever. Like, I don't even know how they fucking identify. Like, it's just, I mean.
And I'm glad you said the fact that it's like a 1% thing. Like, this is a constant theme that I see being shown around, which is that like, we need to do this because there's so many people that need this message. It's like, no, what do you mean so many people? If I literally go around Los Angeles, well, if you go through West Hollywood, you'll meet a different demographic, but if I go around to the people that I like am surrounded by on a daily basis, that is literally some like the amount of people that are gonna buy a Bud Light can and be juiced on the fact that it's showing a trans person. It says she, her. It's gonna be like literally like 500 people.
Or look. So
out of the 10 million.
They're living in a bubble.
Look to it, right? Here's a more effective marketing scheme, right? And let me know if I'm tripping. Listen, they could have appealed to the trans community as well by putting this really hot trans chick, right? And having her do like one of those like those like 1990s like Bud Light, right? For example, like a skimpy shorts.
That might have been worse.
Drinking a Bud Light. Come on now.
They replaced the frogs with trans women. But why?
Oh my god!
I would appreciate that.
Bro.
Yeah.
Right now, and who's that guy's a freaking agent though, man? He's got like fucking tampon deals. Bud Light deal.
I was gonna say that.
Dog, that's a great agent.
When
Pays to be trans.
when Budweiser or Bud Light, when they did the ad campaign with that person, I noticed that one of their main flexes was they were like, we're doing this collab with this person who has 10 million Instagram followers and all of these. And I was realizing, I'm like, that's why they really, yes, they did it to be, woke and progressive, but they also did it because that person has a huge following. They're very viral, and they thought it would be a good, trade.
Unfortunately, their following has never and will never drink Bud Light.
Exactly.
You fucking idiots.
Exactly.
And that's the other thing too. Is like if you choose a can design for a can of beer, what are you choosing it based on? Are you choosing it based on where you think society is going and making the world a better place? No, you're choosing it based on trying to make more sales and trying to make the product fly off the shelves. And it just shows this like total lack of understanding of their audience, which is completely different to me than Chris of Mr. Beast fame just existing and deciding at some point that he wants to be trans, and Mr. Beast then not kicking them out of the organization. Like to me, Mr. Beast is actually like pretty much doing the right version of like inclusion in this situation, whereas Bud Light did this horrible botched fucking version of it. And I wonder in the long run if this is really going to affect their business, because I seen
their stock dropped.
Yeah, but I wonder if it dropped enough and if it's going to be a persistent thing, because let's be real, the world doesn't need Bud Light. You could buy Coors Light, you can buy Miller Light, you could buy you could buy Happy Dad, you could buy White Claws. Like Bud Light does not have to exist. Bud Light could just go away, and I feel like everybody would be okay with that. And that's part of their problem too, is that like Mr. Beast makes amazing content that really stands out and like deserves to exist for its own reasons. Bud Light just is kind of popular because it's always been popular, right? Like I don't think Bud Light is like a necessity in our culture.
Everyone think it's just like a watered down nasty beer. Like no one really
I've never had it, so I wouldn't know.
It's just a light beer. They're all pretty close. I remember when I still drank beer that like there was a moment where I sort of realized like, oh, Coors Light is better than Bud Light. And I'm not sure if that was just like, oh, it had better packaging, or if I actually was enjoying it more. Josh is shaking his head.
I started drinking with
you can hear it in the Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch CEO response too. Like the people they were saying, that's their target. That's the base that was obviously pissed by this message.
Exactly.
That's the people who are buying all of these beers.
Yeah,
When
and that's
like
what I was
playing
gonna say.
hockey. Like we would show up with a 30 rack of Bud Light. Like that was just the thing that.
Where do you? I was thinking like as a
Almost
CEO
everyone
or
What about
the
Bud Ice? Are they going to do a gay campaign?
I don't think
Bud
that
Ice.
anymore.
Bud Ice is
I'm
like
telling
straight
you, man.
only for homeless people. That shit is so gross.
But like other than a college campus, where are you going to see Bud Light being drinking at probably sporting events, a NASCAR thing or some shit like that,
Barbecue.
right? But maybe honestly, what if they bars, but what if they thought that since a lot of college kids drink Bud Light, a lot of college goers drink beer.
Yeah.
A lot of colleges are very progressive. Maybe they were like, this is our overlapping. This is we throw a trans person on the can.
Why not just like pay though, like these like famous like fucking like TikTokers, like the dude, right?
A lot of
They're usually
TikTokers are like
underage.
19. Yeah, they can't
No,
drink
like
beer
you
yet.
That's a
can
good
find
point,
like
yeah.
21. Oh yeah, no, right?
But if you're
And you can't put Bud Light on the TikTok either. And also, it's like if Bud Light were to do a random sponsorship of some cisgendered 21-year-old dancing around, nobody would give a fuck. We weren't even talking about it. Like,
Yeah, sure.
you know, it's in a way, maybe this is like them getting a bunch of free advertising, but I kind of feel like in the long run, it's probably bad
right.
publicity.
Yeah, I think it hurts their brand overall, especially like down south. A lot of people got like conservative values, and they not rocking with it at all.
Facts.
Yeah, and they're not like online every minute of the day, so I don't think they're gonna like bother to read these responses. They saw Kid Rock shoot the Bud Light with the fucking machine gun,
That was fucking-
and that's it. I feel like they're gonna have to be discounting that shit if they want people to buy it now.
Yo, like it's just so dumb, right? Because their stock is currently up about like 32%, like for the last like 6 months, right? And it just tanked this week. Which, bro, if your stock is up already, shouldn't you just like ride that high, right?
I know, for real.
And just fall back.
No, it's whoever's in charge of getting like
they got
ad
greedy.
campaigns together.
Yeah,
they were
greedy.
just trying to not be greedy. They were just trying to be a little bit too progressive. You know what I mean? And like didn't understand exactly what the hell's going on. And that's also the issue with like a lot of companies nowadays. They just hire these like weird roles like. I can't even think of the names, but it's like inclusive role. It's like hire a person that makes sure that everyone they have a equal spread demographic of people they hire. It's
Diversity and equity officers, or
shit like that.
What is it? Like fucking, because that's what I saw some statement from Bud Light saying basically that this idea was like, I don't know if it was a statement or if it was like a leaked statement or whatever, but they basically said this was cooked up by some like marketing people at the company and that the higher ups never saw it. Kind of hard to believe, just because you would have to be such a fucking moron to not know that this was going to be controversial.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to imagine that they didn't know that this was going to be a thing, right?
Exactly. That's what,
Better
like,
question, though, Adam. Better
some sort of
question, right?
approval.
So again, like you being like a boss, right?
And a
If-
gay man.
Yeah, right. So look, if your CEO, like that chick, and did what she did, is she keeping her job or are you firing her?
Hell no. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I mean, you can't like make that kind of decision that is going to throw the brand into such a perilous position. And like, I don't think I would be able to trust their judgment afterwards. Like, it just seems like such a wild decision to make without consulting. I don't know, but again, I don't believe that. I don't believe that they could make a he/her/they/them beer can without hundreds or thousands of people involved in the company seeing it and being aware. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. Although who knows, maybe that was like a super limited edition can that only went out to a small percentage of people. Like that wouldn't really surprise me that much either, but
It's
I don't
still
know.
pissed off a lot of people. If that's the case, if honestly, if it became a thing where all Bud Light cans all had her image on it, and I could see why people would be upset about it. But if it's like how you're saying, if it's literally only like 1,000 or 10,000 cans that were made that were only sold for, a week, it kind of falls into the line of like transphobia, right? You're like, bro, you're just so pissed that this like limited line came out there. You're like, I'm not drinking the normal cans either. Fuck them.
Hey, nah, right. All right, what's next, Josh?
But I do kind of hope that Bud Light has like the worst financial quarter of all time, just so that corporations in general can stop shoving their stupid fucking politics down our throat.
Exactly,
I feel the
bro.
same way when I walk by the Gap and there's gay pride flags, and it's like, oh
Everything.
look, we're with the Gap, we support gay rights so much. It's like, no, you just think this is a good marketing strategy. Shut
Exactly.
the fuck up. It's
That's the
sickening.
thing that a lot of people, like citizens and consumers, can't see through is like they're not being progressive. They're being like money hungry. They're trying to fucking appeal to your values, which is, guess what? We're all worried about the same shit right now because we all see it. They're trying to appeal to those little core values that everyone's worrying about just to make more money, make another purchase.
Yeah, I would love for it to be basically taboo for every corporation to take a performative pro-gay stance or whatever. It just seems like, unless you want to be Black Rifle Coffee or you want to be like the most fucking woke brand ever, just spare us. Like, just think a little bit more of me as a consumer and just don't try to shove this shit down my throat.
Enough.
I would appreciate it.
They
Anyway.
do the same thing with the eco-friendly shit when it's all bullshit at the end of the day. All right, so next we have Universal Music Group is asking major streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music to block artificial intelligence companies from using its music to train their technology. It says, we have a moral and commercial responsibility to our artists to work and prevent the unauthorized use of their music and to stop platforms from ingesting content that violates the rights of artists and other creators. We expect our platform partners will want to prevent their services from being used in ways that harm the artists. And this is for sure coming from all the AI Kanye songs, AI, whoever you could think of. Like, they just have famous, celebrities or like musicians making, you can like write whatever lyrics you want, they'll sing it. And honestly, I think we were talking about it last time with Almighty, where I was like, dude, at what point, if I was a musician and I see that Flacco is posting parody videos of my voice and you're getting 1 million views and getting $3,000, like in ad revenue per video, like I'd be like, bro, no, you're making money off my voice. It's like,
But is it really your voice? It just sounds a lot like your voice. That's the whole thing about it. It's like fucking, I don't know. Like, I don't understand how they're going to be able to stop it. If they do manage to stop it, it's just going to like go to the dark web and it's going to be trickier to get your hands on it and shit, right? But like when I heard that Jay-Z verse, I think I heard a Kanye one. There was like a viral TikTok of a guy who made a Kanye verse, sounded like 98% like Kanye. And then I heard this Jay-Z one like a week later, sounded like almost 100% like a fucking Jay-Z verse. And it kind of just made me feel, because like I'm somebody who since 2001, every time a Jay-Z verse has come out, for the most part, I stopped and I listened to it and I thought nice and hard about whatever Jay-Z was trying to tell me because I respect him so much as an artist, right? Yeah. I don't know, like, what does that do to the experience of being a fan when you could just have fans cooking up Jay-Z verses, writing lyrics that in some cases maybe they'd be better than Jay-Z shit, or maybe more catchy, or at least you could make a song that is like some ridiculous pop anthem that Jay-Z would never actually make, and then you could just make that as a fucking fan. Like, it kind of reminds me of the feeling I got when I back in the day, maybe like 2011, I downloaded a huge file of leaked Young Thug songs, like 100 of them.
Oh wow.
And I like started listening to it, and a lot of them weren't mastered and shit. And I'm like, as I listened to it, I started to be like, oh, like the more of this I listen to, the less Young Thug's music is mattering to me, because I'm listening to all these sloppy ass mixes and stuff. Whereas like normally you'd have to wait for a project or a mixtape or whatever.
It dilutes the brand down.
Yeah, and it's like if I'm a huge Pooh Shiesty fan, and I'm able to like, you know, some fan of his is able to like write Pooh Shiesty style verses to these great new beats, and he's able to make, you know, like all these great Pooh Shiesty songs. Like, why does it even matter to me when he gets out of jail and starts making his own music? Like,
No.
I don't know.
But remember when Como came out?
Gummo.
That's like, it was a different voice.
It was the gay version of Gummo.
Yeah, it's a
By
thing.
6ix9ine.
Oh yeah.
It was, I guess
You don't even know about Gummo. That's not new to hip hop you are, huh?
I do 6ix9ine. Yeah.
Okay.
he that dude who made Como, he had like, I guess he was reusing everyone's beats, so maybe that's why his channel got
He was
taken
making
down.
a gay version of like every song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Oh,
But it's
I
kind of
can
like that
imagine it,
AI
though.
shit.
nigga sticky, Dicky with the right.
Basically.
You
that
You
kind
never
of
heard
thing, you know?
Como? That's crazy.
Nah.
Come on my titties.
Right. Oh no, yo. But like imagine that though. Like he could like come back, use their voices to just say the most
Oh
gay,
my
outrageous
God.
shit, and then label it leaks.
Bro,
Kanye
can
West
someone
with
make
Youth
the official AI
Yeah.
6ix9ine Como? That'd be so funny, bro.
But
But
man,
the guy's
yeah.
that guy's voice kind of made it comedic as well.
But 6ix9ine's label was having that shit taken down off YouTube, so I feel like I don't even know if Como's still up, or at least it doesn't have the views. It's not the version that we were listening to all the time in
Yeah, it's for sure gone.
2018 or whatever.
Mhm.
No, so I seen the freakiest shit though, and it was a Rihanna AI singing these other songs, like some Drake songs, Beyonce songs, and I said, yo, this is like the future, because look, like I no longer have to wonder like what my favorite artist will sound like on
Yeah.
this song. I can just put them on there.
But it gets tricky. What if like you, for some reason, like build some sort of talent where
Yeah.
through your lyric writing ability, or like you know that this artist's voice is gonna sound so good with this track, and you build a whole persona for yourself, like a YouTube channel and an Instagram based off making AI work. At a certain point, it's like a copyright infringement because it's the
Nah.
same voice.
Nah, hell no.
I mean,
no, you can't prove it.
I think that's going to have to be decided by the courts at some point.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, okay, like Michael Jordan, great basketball player. If I go and I fucking make a computer program that can like basically create Michael Jordan clips out of thin air of him doing crazy dunks that he didn't do in real life. I mean, is this the same thing? Like,
That's true. I guess.
Are you not allowed to go make your own Simpsons cartoon? I mean, I guess that probably sounds like it would be illegal as well.
But also, what's that one dude? I forgot his name, but he's on YouTube. He does the animations of people, and he does like crazy like parody examples. He did one of the baby and shit, and he uses people's likenesses all the time. And I guess he doesn't face that issue. But likeness and your voice is so different. That's what I'm saying. The court case over this is probably gonna be so complicated.
I wonder though, could you like trademark a voice?
Maybe it'll come down to that. But this is okay. This is the whole thing. I don't know if everybody agrees.
Someone
but
tried to do that recently. Actually.
once I really started thinking about the whole AI Pokemon nude thing,
Yeah.
I started to kind of come around to her side of things once I saw like how upset it was making the women that were having this fucking AI porn made of them.
Yeah.
I mean, is a fake AI Jay-Z verse, is it really that different?
It's their likeness, you know what I mean? Used in all time, and they could have Jay-Z talking about shit that he would never want to talk about.
And Pokimane might have been horrified by the usage of her likeness in porn like that. For somebody like Jay-Z, I doubt he's horrified. He's probably just kind of annoyed and thinks it's stupid or whatever. But I mean, does it really change the basis of what we're talking about? I don't know.
No.
Let's do this fucking Whoa Vicky thing.
Oh yes.
Oh, wait.
It was so viral.
Oh yeah, and we forgot to talk about this yesterday, right?
This is so viral. Well, maybe not on our page necessarily, but on a lot of other pages, I know it has so many likes and retweets. And
No,
stuff.
we discussed
We
yesterday.
discussed this the other day. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Never mind.
Yeah. All right, next.
Never mind.
All right, next. Well, what was the Sam Smith?
Why didn't you write
news?
"Who gives a fuck what Ja Rule thinks" at a time like this? What does that mean?
Well, here, right? So, and it was like a Dave Chappelle joke, pretty much saying like we don't want to hear our rappers and artists and influencers give their opinion on really important topics. So, essentially saying like, why the fuck is Whoa Vicky like talking about like hip hop and satanic issues and shit like that? You know?
But she's just always there to have the most bullshit take on everything. Like she's like, she has a secret informant who told her that Lil Nas is lying
She
about being
mentally
gay.
ill.
She said her friends went to school with him. That was her informant.
Yeah. Oh, what a shocker! Somebody wasn't gay earlier in their life, and
I
then as
know.
time went by, they decided they were gay. Doesn't that describe literally every gay person?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
What
what,
are we
I thought as
talking
well.
about?
She never gets
know.
canceled though. She's like uncancelable.
Yeah,
Yo,
bro,
'cause
she
she's
put out
known
a
to be
rice
dumb.
gum diss where she said, I don't even want to say
I
it.
remember.
Ching Chong.
There you go. Yeah. She said, she was saying that over and over. She ended up taking that off YouTube, which was probably
Yeah.
smart. But
No, look again. Like, if your like discography and on YouTube exists where you came up and got viral by saying that you were a Nubian chocolate black queen, clearly as a Caucasoid, like
Caucasoid.
right, like
Media
if I'm
Matters
looking to-
article incoming.
nah, or what? Like Flacco.
Caucasoid.
I never even heard that word. I'm not even sure if I should repeat it.
Well, it's very similar to his whole N-word might thing
Oh,
because if you take
Jesus.
Caucasian and just kind of stick a weird
Mm.
suffix at the
Zoid?
end.
Yeah, man, Zoids, right?
What does Zoid mean in this case?
I think it's
I'm not sure.
Zoidberg.
I'd rather be
What's
a
his name?
cockatoo.
A cockatoo. Okay.
Who's Sam Smith? Sounds
Oh
familiar.
my god.
So Sam
Bruh.
Smith
You
had
don't
a
know who
dog.
he is?
Theory.
It sounds very familiar.
He's
Oh,
fucking weird looking English guy, right? Oh
He's
my god.
massively huge.
We
I'm
should
man.
not. Yeah,
No,
we're
I'm
not showing
on
this
screen.
so he's
freaky ass
gone.
video.
He's gone viral because he's on stage performing and he has like tape over his nipples and X's. He's wearing like a speedo with fishnets and boots and like these long arm gloves.
Yo, I
Go
don't
to the
know
No Jumper Instagram if you want to see it.
And people in the
yeah.
comments are saying this is some Illuminati shit, especially since he has a triangle tattooed on his ribs.
I don't think it's some Illuminati shit. I think it's just some gay ass shit. This
Yeah.
is the kind of gay people that I want rocking and on the center stage. It's like, you know, if you are wearing tape over your nipples and you got a big fat belly and you're wearing a little G-string, whatever, I support that because this is the kind of gay shit that I grew up on. You
It's
know?
bizarre though, right? Because it's like he started off as like this real put together contemporary artist, really great. I'm talking about a great voice, clean cut, shaven, like opera type style shit.
You get money and you get gay. That's just how it goes.
And then he
Flacco.
went to this.
I don't think it's that big. Honestly, Flacco, to respond to that, I don't think it's a big. As long as he doesn't have an overwhelmingly child audience, I think it's completely fine. Because, like Adam was saying, you know, like I remember learning about just I can't remember the names of like the goth artists back in the day, but they would be coming out in fishnets and shit just like that. You know what I mean? Like Marilyn Manson, and you know, like, have you seen some of his outfits?
Are we really going to tell gay men that they're not allowed to wear nipple tassels and G-strings
No,
and dance around on stage? This is like the most important part of gay culture. It's
Yeah.
like the foundation of everything, and police hats and fake mustaches
And
and
Vogan.
aviator glasses.
I'm
and-
confused why this
Yeah.
is news. Like, was he like, is he coming out randomly or
I
like
guess
they
it's
already
just
knew?
mainstream enough that people are like
Yeah.
finding it in their heart to be pissed off
It's a
about him.
drastic change, bro. Like,
A
bro,
This is
drastic-
what
it's a
gay people be
drastic-
doing. They be dancing
Did
around naked
anyone
and shit.
care when Lady Gaga went from like a pop star to a more edgier?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
was
Everybody cared. Like,
was a
one
thing.
third internet cared, right?
They got over it though, and she's still just as popular, if not more.
She
popular.
changed though, like, right?
but it was a phase. It was like a chapter in her music career, right?
But this is just
Yeah.
our media cycle because, like, think about it. Like, you know, Playboy Cardi paints his nails.
Mhm.
Playboy Cardi wears a belly shirt. These are all news stories too. Like anyone who presents masculine and then they decide to switch it up a little bit, it's news. You can
On-
expect it. If I came in here wearing high heels one day, oh Lord,
Yeah. No,
It would go.
I'm being
and
on
honestly,
the shade room.
It's weird, like, cause like I feel like us as a society, who people who consume internet, you know, news and all that stuff, like there's this weird obsession with like gay culture where if like Flacco randomly wears pink nails, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, Flacco's gay." Like, at what point are we
Nah,
gonna
nah,
be
nah.
like, "All right, yo, Flacco's gay"? Okay, cool, whatever. You know, it's like, at what, like,
Yeah,
that's the
sure.
weird part. Is like, why is it such a big deal sometimes?
Mm,
Other than
but-
if you have a child audience, like,
But I
I was
kind of
saying.
feel like people will never get over it because it is like statistically very uncommon behavior, but it's enduring throughout history that there's always like some
Yeah.
segment of the community that's going to be gay. So it's going to keep coming up over and over and over, and we're going to keep being shocked. Like, oh my God, this guy used to dress normal and now he wears a belly shirt. You know?
Listen, like I can respect it if it's truly you, but for the rappers who are clearly just grifting, pandering, right, and just bullshitting around by the painted nails and the gothic looks, bro, they're grifting. Like again, Cardi, Uzi Vert, them niggas,
You hate young blood, right?
they are grifting as fuck, right? Again, like if them niggas are not emo and they've never listened to the Marilyn Manson.
They're like
niggas-
Hot Topic gays. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I would be going to Hot Topic and they would have fucking hella upside down cross shit and skulls or whatever. And it's like they're not selling you on degeneracy. They're just selling you on the image of being like dark and goth or whatever. And when I see Uzi putting the fucking upside down cross on his tongue, it's just like him saying, "Oh, I am the most committed to letting you know that I'm a rock star," you know? And it's like,
well, he's not a rock star though, and he's grifting.
But how is it grifting? Grifting means like, you know, doing bottom of the barrel shit that you don't actually believe in order to make money.
Yes.
Okay, I guess that's
right.
But the only thing that really like annoys me personally about stuff like that is when I see a rapper wearing like an Iron Maiden shirt or a Metallica shirt, and they have never listened to them. And as a person who's like listened to them my whole life as a kid, like I'm like, it was so cringy when I was like 15 or 16 to wear an Iron Maiden shirt. And you didn't know what
I was dropping my kid off at preschool the other day, and the fucking 35-year-old normie teacher was wearing a shirt with a couple of pictures of Biggie Smalls across the front.
Oh, sure.
And for a brief second, I thought in my head, it's funny how I could see her wearing that shirt, and in no way do I assume that she has like a big interest in hip hop. It's just a shirt. Like she probably has heard Biggie. She probably thinks the songs are cool, whatever. But it's like I don't like think like, oh, I'm gonna ask her like, hey, did you see the new Vlad interview where they talked about Biggie, yada yada? You know, it's like at certain points as time goes by, like think about the Grateful Dead shit. I see Draco rocking Grateful Dead. Rest in peace. I mean, did he ever listen to Grateful Dead? Fuck no. It's just like cool iconography. That it's the same reason that people wear a Che Guevara shirt or a Malcolm X shirt and they don't know what the fuck that is. It's the same reason that somebody's going to wear a Jesus shirt. It's the same reason when I was 19 or 20, I went to fucking Thailand and seen kids walking around wearing shirts with Hitler and Osama bin Laden on it.
Oh, no.
It's just like big iconic figures in history, and these kids are like so far removed from the actual meaning of it that they're just walking around wearing it. And also, I have not seen that since. I wonder if they still sell Hitler shirts in Bangkok, because that was one of the most crazy things I've seen in my life when I seen that.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, man. Oh, yo, did you see like the Trap La Raw's debate this morning?
I did not. I heard about it.
I was watching it, and it was going.
Oh my
Give us
God.
the synopsis.
So pretty much, and there was Van Lathan was moderating this Trap La Raw's debate between Trap La Raw's and this guy called Chicago. No, is from
Chicago Day.
Yeah, right. Now, I'll be real. And Chicago should have sent a different representative because Trap La Raw's was pretty much slaughter and massacring this guy. Like for example, right? And they like brought up like rappers like rapping about the killings, right? And then bloggers covering the killings. And this guy's direct response to that was, yeah, like they're street niggas, y'all are nerds. I said, bruh, at this point, it's not a debate no more. You feel me?
I thought we were going to hear Van Lathan and Trap Lord Ross debate.
Nah.
That I would be kind of interested in. I don't know who those other guys.
Nah. But though, tomorrow though, I'm interviewing like Trap Lord Ross, and I'm trying to like dive deep into it, right? But nah, man. But yeah, man. But you know, I feel like the biggest like and his biggest issue with like Trap Lord Ross doing this was, bro, one, how are you sure that Von was like a serial killer?
Well, it seems like he did about as much research as you could humanly do, right?
yeah, right.
Not to mention, it would seem that the police also believe that he committed at least some of these murders. It's not like it's like totally out of fucking thin air. Because if Trap Lord Ross did a video about like almost any other rapper and called them a serial killer, we would all laugh at it, because I don't believe that there's enough information out there to tell us that nearly any rapper, besides maybe some random fucking drill rappers like throughout history or whatever, were actually serial killers. The only reason anyone's taking this seriously is because it seems like it's very well sourced, and it seems like he's basically kind of incriminated himself on a huge percentage of the shit.
Yeah, man, right. And then also like too, like the question came in a play of like, what's your right to this content? Meaning like you're like this guy from the UK, blah blah. Like
fuck that argument. That's a stupid ass argument.
It sucks.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. You're a human being. Doesn't matter if you're from England. You can, like I remember when I got into YouTube, and I was just like so kind of like on edge about, or I just was like very respectful, or tried to be respectful of the fact that I was this white guy interviewing rappers, you know? And as time goes by and you see something like Lael Hansen or Trap Lord Ross or Baba Lamb or whatever, it's like that has all kind of been stripped away. Like you could just be a white person, make videos, talk about rap, and nobody gives a fuck. And it just seems like a weird step backwards to say that Trapler Ross is not worthy of doing this, because let's be real, he's doing better journalism than most journalists. He's doing a better documentary than damn near anybody else. If anything, it would almost be kind of weird if somebody made a King Von documentary now, because they probably wouldn't be able to do as good a job as Trapler Ross just did, right?
Of course. Listen, right? So look. If you like watch the full debate, bruh, again, it's a comment section of mostly black folks. Just commenting, bruh, give it up, tap out, bruh.
Really?
Oh my God, bruh, slaughtering you. Oh my, bruh, listen, right? So look, I think it was like 290 Jake, who commented Trapler Ross is serial killing these rounds, because yo, it was just a massacre. Meaning dudes talking, Trapler Ross is taking notes of everything he's saying. And just breaking it down, bro, it was bad for that guy, bro. I feel bad for him right now.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I feel bad, bro.
But yeah, I mean, if it's 2023 and your argument is you are white, so therefore you're not allowed to have an opinion about hip hop, or maybe you're black, but you're not from the right city, so you can't have an opinion about hip hop or the culture or whatever. Nobody is convinced by this. This is just, it's not convincing anyone at this point. It only sounds good as a quote tweet, because as soon as you're forced to back it up in conversation, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, man. Listen, I texted Van and said, bro, can you please, man, just take over it and debate Trapler Ross yourself? Because
I feel like Van probably doesn't have any qualms with Trapler Ross doing what he's doing, right? Or at least not serious qualms. Probably. He might have some questions, but I don't feel like he's gonna really be going at him. Damn, you just bought a Prime?
Yeah.
Can I waterfall a sip? I've never had it. I kind of want to try it.
Apparently, Jason was just warning me about how much caffeine this has. It has
Really?
150 milligrams of caffeine.
150. Okay, let me. Ooh, tropical punch.
I tried the pink one last time and it was really good. And, and apparently these things in the UK and shit, kids are reselling these for $100 and shit. What? They're hard to get out there.
It doesn't really taste that different than a regular tropical punch or fruit punch or whatever.
The pink one is super tarty and sour. I really like that one because I like tarty sour.
I would never drink that in a million years, just because I just don't drink soda, but it tastes okay. Actually, honestly, when we were talking about soda before,
it's 10 calories?
It made me want to go get Dr. Pepper so bad.
It is?
Yeah. Wow.
It's just
it has 200 milligrams of caffeine. Actually.
It's just like an energy drink, a flavored energy drink without sugar, or very little sugar, because it's so low calorie.
I just needed a little boost of energy, to be honest. But did you guys talk about this story right here yet?
Yes,
the 16-year-old?
No, we didn't, Flacco.
Oh no.
I know, you just answered for no reason. Okay, so apparently a 16-year-old Atlanta boy is being hailed as a hero after he drowned while trying to save 4 children from the strong currents of the Florida Panhandle. Bryce Brooks and his family were vacationing in Pensacola with other families who grew up together, according to Bryce's stepfather. The group in Perdido Key the group was in Perdido Key when the currents began pulling 4 younger kids away from the beach on April 6th. Bryce sprung into action, running with 2 other children to help the children, and then Bryce was pulled under the water. The family then named Charles Chuck Johnson the second the family friend named Charles Chuck Johnson II went into the water to help Bryce, but was also pulled under. Both of them drowned. Jesus Christ. What was it, a rip current or something?
So they named him a hero, but he also died. Damn.
Yo.
113,000 likes. This is actually whoa, maybe people do want to hear about fucking positive stuff.
This is the same thing that happened to the...
Well, it's not positive because somebody died. But
No,
but it's positive that he saved kids.
He risked his life to save someone else.
Now, look, again, I applaud the kid, right? But let's not start applauding and promoting this shit too much. Because
it's dangerous, because you're risking I don't know.
You hopping in the ocean.
It's up to the person, because
with high currents to save 4 children, knowing that you can die yourself, to me,
that's you, bro.
We shouldn't promote that.
For some people, Flacco, they literally, if they saw that someone was in danger and they knew that they're probably have a 99% chance of dying to save their life, there's people out there, they're just gonna do it without even thinking about it, because they have that in them.
But you want to know what? Flacco is being consistent, at least, because I remember one time he said that if your kid is dying, or if you that you should not sacrifice your own life to save your child's life. And I was like, what? I would gladly die at this moment to save my kid's life.
He said you could just have another kid.
I would not be able to live another day on Earth knowing that I chose the other option. And I mean, Flacco's basically saying the same thing again. So at least,
I bet you do,
you're
Adam,
being
right?
consistent.
Look, so look, Adam, look, I can almost guarantee you, right? But the next morning when you wake up and you having great sex and eating great cereal, like you probably say, you know, well, bro, again, like,
Great series.
right? It's fucked up, but I can live.
Flacco, did
You feel
you
me?
have you ever had
It's fucked up, I can
someone?
live.
Have you ever had someone that you like care about dearly pass away in your life?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone that you cared about more than yourself? Because I haven't had a
No,
lot
it
of
does
it.
not sound like
But
that.
my kid definitely. That's like the easiest one in the world. Now, I will condone or at least accept if you were talking about one of my parents, if I had to choose me or one of my parents who are kind of at the end of their life, and realistically, like I'm a caretaker for my kid and stuff. I think me and my parents could agree that I should probably be spared and that one of them should go, which is I'm not against making like tough moral decisions in terms of like hypothetical situations like this. But when it comes to my child, I'm going.
But
And
you're their child,
I
so
will
they would
die
do
for
that
my girl
regardless.
too. I'm gonna throw her in the mix too.
Your girlfriend?
And Josh.
And oh, wow.
Bullshit.
But somebody's
Yeah, I
got to
was
run the
expecting
boards.
Bullshit.
Hey, but
listen, my girl knows. Hey, listen, man. Death is crazy.
you know what's crazy about this story is that that's how the dude who created Yu-Gi-Oh. That's how he passed away too. He jumped into the water trying to save like some little girl drowning or something, and he ended up drowning instead.
Again, it's a tough position, bro. But I believe that you should probably like save yourself for your mother, your kids,
And
your family,
that's how you would react,
and
you know?
not jump in a lake to save four random children.
Bro,
If we want to just go strictly with the numbers, we lost one 16-year-old to save 4 children.
Yeah.
So we're up 3. I mean, ultimately, that I can respect that he was able
Their
to.
family though is up 3, and your family
Now,
is
if
down
he
1.
had swam out to sea to save a drowning kid and then he died, and the kid died, we would be down 2, and that seems like that's worse. But you know, I mean, I appreciate that he was. I mean, I think you just got to give it to a 16-year-old for being selfless enough
Exactly.
to do this, because I think that the average 16-year-old, like what I'm saying about how I would, you know, be happy to die to save somebody I loved. I don't know if I could have really got there at 16. I think maybe at 16 I would have been a little too self-centered.
Bro. And that's why he is a hero, because in like a crazy example of a selfless person, because it's like, dude, not only was he 16 years old and ready to take that risk on, but it's just like if Flacco was there, those kids would have all died, you know?
Again, no. And he's a hero, and I applaud this kid, yo. He's a brave soul. I fucking rock with this kid. But I just don't want us to normalize
So you don't think it would
praising
be,
and lauding this behavior.
so you don't think it would be better as a society for us to have people who are more selfless?
More
I don't
selfish.
think that, again,
Yo,
We
Adam,
need more selfishness.
you know what's funny, Adam? I was telling Flacco last time, because I know you know who Ayn Rand is. I was telling Flacco, I was like, you kind of fall under her philosophy, because she has that same shit. She says that like you should care more about yourself and preserving your life for as long as possible, more than anything in the world.
I read Atlas Shrugged and I read The Fountainhead, and I really feel like I deserve a pat on the back for that, because there's some chunks of those books that are so fucking hard to get through. And I read both of them before I realized that she was kind of a laughing stock. But she was an important, you know, writer, even though a lot of her ideas I don't think really panned out. But
Yeah,
man.
Shut up,
but she
Ayn.
had that same philosophy, kind of like Flacco has, which is that your life is more valuable than others. It's like, I forgot the name of the philosophy, but
Like, bro,
objectivism.
yeah, the objectivism. There you go.
I feel like her,
Yeah,
what
bro.
is the definition of objectivism? It was more like, I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to say it in a stupid way. The belief that certain things, especially moral truths, exist independently of human knowledge or perception of them, like kind of like the opposite of moral relativism. Basically, that there are truths that, you know, this is like kind of like what a lot of progressivism goes against. It's like, you know, cutting a girl's vagina off is bad regardless of what society you grew up in,
course,
whereas moral relativism is like, oh, we have no right to pass judgment on people that cut their vaginas off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right.
It's at least one chunk of it.
Yeah.
Either way, R.I.P. to that kid.
Guess that I'm anti that though, right?
Why?
Right.
You think that we can't pass judgment on other societies?
Yeah, right. Because like for example, like we all have our own like moral compass, right? That like, but I don't feel like our own moral compass should matter at all, right?
It's not it's the opposite of a moral, or it's that an inherent human moral compass that there are rights and wrongs, and that certain things are like it's better to live in a society in which it is illegal and shunned to murder someone.
Well, yeah, of course.
We can all agree on that. And if you were to go to some crazy country that you never heard of and find out that it's okay to kill people and that you don't go to jail for it, like that's a worse society to live in.
For sure.
A society in which you chop the fucking labia off of a woman's vagina, which this is way more common. Look up female genital mutilation if you want to learn about it. If you chop the labia off and then sew it up so that you can ensure that the girl is going to stay a virgin until it's unsewn or whatever, that is a worse world to live in than the one that we live in here in America, right? And you're saying, no, you don't agree, and that is insane.
That's insane.
Not right, because again,
my God.
Right, look, again, that's horrible. I think it's horrible. But if those people have their own rules and regulations, and they as a collective have came together and say, yo, this is what's best for our society.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree that we should probably not send troops over or like send drone strikes to kill everybody who's doing this.
Yeah.
But I do think that, it might be fair to say like, oh no, we're not going to do business with you unless you stop sewing up your daughter's vaginas.
Honestly.
Or like, to find, or at least just to shun it and just look down upon them and maybe have the conversation. There could be like a New Yorker article that's like, hey, female genital mutilation is bad.
Yeah, of course.
But it's like one of the most under-discussed issues, even though it is this gigantic, and it happens in America too.
Oh,
believe
wow.
it or not. Yo, you can look into it. There's like people come from other countries and they still want to get this procedure done in America. And there's doctors who fucking do it.
Boy babies get mutilated all the time in America as
I
well.
agree. I'm anti-circumcision too, even though I'm circumcised.
A word?
Yeah.
You're right. Now, right? Like
I hope I have a boy so I can not chop his penis head off.
Those countries, though, right? Like, see those chicks as like investments, right? Saying pretty much, listen, if you stay a virgin by like 18 years old, I could probably get like 20 grand for you, right?
Yeah, that is the whole entire problem, is that it's objectifying them, right?
Yeah.
And treating them not like a human being, but like a fucking commodity, right?
Yeah. A 20 grand.
I love that.
That's only okay if girls do it
Sitting
themselves.
next to Flacco, I get to be the woke guy, and I love it. I never get to do this.
All right, so what do we have next? This video, I thought this was an old video, but it's been making its rounds and it's hella viral right now. This guy was seen on video flexing money and guns, and then he was arrested like shortly after.
Turn the sound on.
Oh yeah, like we posted this.
Oh man,
it's the most nigga shit ever, man. Look at this right here, man.
It looks like you just watched a Black Gangster video. He's kind of acting like Black Gangster, right?
Nigga left it out like, look at this.
Oh,
Negro mind activity.
Yo, look at that chain. Look at that nasty ass chain.
The star chain, bro.
Chain sucks.
Come on, man.
Oh wait, the cops pull up?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Stupid fuck.
What a dumb bastard.
Well, look. Oh, come on, man.
Wow.
That's just being too arrogant. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, if you're gonna have a gun, but don't be arrogant about it and be like showing it off. If
Yeah.
you're gonna show it off, that's already silly. But he kept taking it out and showing it off, bro.
Bro, that was
And it's
Custer behavior.
Past that, right? That's why
Look at Whack 100's comment. Big dummy.
right? I preach, right? There's Negro mites and then there's regular black folks. He had the involuntary just like a fucking muscle twitch to pull out his gun and flex his people. Nah, come on, man.
I'm not going to use or co-sign any of the language you just
Yeah,
used, but I will say that like whatever he was just doing is like a specific type of mind virus
Of course,
that like
archetype.
Like he's just like putting himself in a situation in which of course he's going to get arrested. And it's like, I remember somebody saying that to me when I was young. I was like 16, 17, and some grown-ass dude, I think it was one of these graffiti artists, he just said, he's like, I smoke weed every day, but I don't go and smoke weed in my car with music blasting.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get in trouble. So I don't fucking do it in a situation that's going to get me in trouble. And this dude, and I don't remember who it was, he's a graffiti artist. He'd been doing it for 20 years, and he never got caught. And like, That's what really matters. Like, you could do whatever dumb shit you want to do. You can have a pile of money. You can carry guns in public. Just don't get caught. And don't make it so
That shit is
easy on the
stupid, man.
cops. You stupid.
If you're gonna
Like
smoke
King
weed,
Von.
drive the speed limit, follow all the rules, and that's also the other crazy thing is like, dude, if your taillights aren't out and your headlights aren't out, and you just follow the speed limit and drive like a normal person, your chances of getting pulled over is like very, very
I
slim
think
to none.
since we've been at this spot and the other spot, I think in my morning commute, I only ever got pulled over one time.
Why?
For speeding.
Yeah.
Word? Damn.
And it smelled like weed in the car, and the guy didn't give a fuck either, too, I was pretty happy
Yeah.
about that. That's happened to me a couple times in LA.
He didn't even mention it.
Nah.
Really?
Nah, I think he knew who I was.
You know,
We made eye contact, and I just felt like he just was like over it right away. He just realized I wasn't a problem and just didn't care. It was kind of weird.
bro, you know what's funny is literally the other day, I already fixed it, but Riley's head or tail light was like out, and I was literally driving to the weed shop to get some weed at nighttime, and right as I was driving down the street, a fucking cop pulls right behind me, and he didn't put his lights on yet, and I was like, oh my god, and I had to make a couple turns before I got to the weed shop, and he was just following me the whole time. And literally, just as I'm pulling up to the weed shop, he puts his lights on and pulls me over right in front of it. And then he comes up to my door and he's just like, "Hey, your tail lights out." And then also he's like, and then he's like, "I was gonna ask about the smell, but he's like, I just realized we're standing across from a weed shop." And I was just like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Yeah, it's the weed shop, dude." But my car definitely smelled like weed.
I feel like maybe I don't get pulled over, besides the white thing, because I have a nice car and I drive it at a pretty normal speed. I think in a cop's mind, that's the best combo. Because if you're driving like super fast in your fancy car, then you could be a problem. Or if you're driving like just, do you think like the shittier the car, the more you get pulled over?
They definitely like are a little bit more suspicious of it. You know what I mean? They'll be looking at it. You know what's a crazy rule? One of my homies back in the day, whenever I rode with this dude, he was so scared of being pulled over, but mostly because he didn't have a license or insurance or anything or registration. But he was so on top of not getting pulled over that if you came inside his car, if you had a hoodie on, he'd be like, take off the hoodie. You can't even wear a hoodie. If you had a hat on, he'd be like, take the hat off. You can't wear hats while we're driving around, because he said like, bro, if you're wearing a hoodie or a hat, he's like, you're more likely to get pulled over.
He
followed strict ass rules.
Look,
bro.
right. So look though. So Josh actually told me that I was racially profiled by LA police, right? So
Why?
Right. So
What
look,
happened?
right.
Josh looks confused.
Yeah. Right. So look, right. So look. So
There's all kinds of other reasons to profile you.
yeah,
Obesity.
Yes, that right. Right. So
Car window
that.
being out.
yes, right. Yeah. So pretty much, I made a turn and the cops pulled me right now, and they were like more concerned with me being in a neighborhood that was majority Hispanic, and it
That's what they brought up right away.
Yeah. Right, saying yo, bro, right, like
cops do that all the time, though. Because like I remember a long time ago, I was skating in Hollywood with one of my homies who's from Pacoima, right?
Yeah.
And he was Hispanic, and we were just like skating around. This cop literally, we didn't even do shit. He just comes up to us and he like presses my homie. He's like, well, let me see your ID, blah blah, whatever. Yeah, my homie gives him his ID. He's like, he asks him, he's like, why are you in this area?
Yeah.
He literally asked my homie, he's like, why are you in this area? My homie's like, we're skating, bro. Like we're just skating around. He's like, oh, like basically, like she's like, you should stay in Pacoima type shit. I was like, that's crazy, but the
I
cops
remember
don't
one
like
time
that.
we were all riding bikes at this one school, and the cops came up and they were like, "Yo, this is a Crip neighborhood.
Yeah.
You guys shouldn't be riding your bikes here. Somebody got shot here this morning."
Oh, they're warning you though.
And we stayed, and I felt like a badass.
He warned me though. Let me go, which I was like, great, right? Great.
Well,
right?
what did he tell you? He said like you shouldn't be in this area, or what? What he questioned why you were there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Essentially thinking that I was like there to kind of like slaughter somebody, right.
Or maybe even sell drugs too. Like
Yeah,
I remember when I was doing the downtown LA building climbing videos, and I was out in downtown LA like at 3-4 in the morning, walking around Skid Row with my homie.
Yeah.
Cops would be very suspicious of us. They would look at us.
Word?
If they saw a homeless person out on the streets in downtown LA at 3 in the morning, whatever, you pass by him. If you see like a well-dressed dude like just walking down this weird street where there's no one,
Well-dressed.
yeah, well, slightly well-dressed, better than homeless.
In ass pizza pants.
Exactly.
Okay, but the thing is if you're a cop and you're paying attention to you in the middle of Skid Row, I feel like a large percentage of the time it's going to be because they actually are worried for you.
No,
like,
they thought we were buying drugs or selling
yeah,
drugs
that
every
too,
time.
yeah.
They thought we were either like there to buy, I don't know, some
No,
shit.
because if you go to Skid Row, you will see that the drug dealers are dressed like really nice and have like fancy shit. It's pretty funny. Anyway, you guys are on your phones. I'm done.
Sorry.
We out here?
Yep.
Let's go. Shout out to everyone. Appreciate you guys so much.
Shout out
Let's
to
go.
everybody who watched this. Shout out to what are the donators saying, Josh? I'm seeing donors.
I know. Should we read the super chats?
They're
not nice.
not terribly positive.
Well, shout out to them. Shout out to everybody. Smash the like button. We'll be
Facts.
back next week.
Let's go.
Boom.